Speed Vision's coverage of the NASCAR Winston West Series moves to Southern California tonight from beautiful Irwindale Speedway near Los Angeles. It's the Home Depot 250. Hi, Alan Bestwick here. Glad that you've joined us tonight, bringing you some exciting short track racing from Southern California. NASCAR Winston Cup star Michael Waltrip joins me, along with our pit reporter Kenny Sargent. Mike, looking forward to this one.
Oh, man, I'm a big fan of this NASCAR Winston West racing. It should be a good night.
I bet those fireworks aren't the only ones we see throughout the evening. Earlier today, the NASCAR Winston West Series presented point fund monies to some of the top drivers in the current standings. They do that at the 3rd and 2/3 point of the season. Here you see some of the drivers getting their checks. That's Kevin Richards, the second-place driver in series standings after the 1/3 point of the season. And there's Brendan Gaughan collecting $10,000 from Rick Sanders on the right and Miss Winston Renee Perks on the left for being the championship leader at this point in the Winston West campaign. There are the point standings. Gaughan, Kevin Richards, Steve Portingay, Bobby Dotter, and Eric Norris are your top 5. And now the rest of the top 10 as we head into tonight's Home Depot 250, the 6th race of the NASCAR Winston West season. Kenny Sargent is our pit reporter tonight. Let's hear from him.
You're looking at the number 8 car driven by the kid. Yeah, Johnny Borneman sitting on the front row. But the big news comes out of the East Coast. I'm talking about North Carolina native Bobby Dotter sitting on the pole here on the West Coast at Irwindale. I would think your time in the Busch Series definitely helps you out on this half mile.
Oh, it definitely did help. We had a number of years where we did run a lot of short tracks, but this track's a little unusual in that you run a higher lane through the corner, and on most short tracks it's not like that. So it took a little getting used to earlier today, but once I got it figured out, the Goodyear tires they provided for us this week were really good, and we were able to set on the pole.
Out of the gate, you have the kid to your right and the old man Sedgwick behind you. Any strategy there?
Well, the biggest thing I've learned is that this track seems to be hard on tires, mostly blowing out tires, so I want to be a little patient, and other than the patience, then I just got to stay up in the lead pack.
There's a look at the beautiful Irwindale Speedway and a tremendous crowd on hand tonight. Let's talk about this racetrack for a minute, Mike. Drivers really love this place.
Well, it's because of the banking, Alan. In the corners, down on the low part of the track, it's banked at one angle, and then in the middle a little bit more, and then on top more. And what that does, it opens up a lot of grooves as you hit the corners.
Fans love this place, too. If you were going to take a short track and build it from scratch, Irwindale Speedway would be what you do. They took the best of all the new Winston Cup super speedways that have been built around the country and incorporated it into a weekly short track. Live entertainment, concessions, fan picnic areas, some of the best things you could have, all are here at Irwindale, and that's before you even get to the competitor facilities.
Well, when you're on the racetrack, you love it because of the way the thing's designed. You can drive down low, you can run up high, it's a lot of fun to race on, but also as a driver, you like the fact that the fans are there having a good time. They've got places to eat food, they can have a good time, and that's what's great.
The start of the Home Depot 250 at Irwindale comes up next on Speed Vision. Speed Vision's coverage of the Home Depot 250 is brought to you by Food for Less Supermarkets, by Jenny King, also brought to you by Monaco Enterprises, and by Napa, celebrating its 75th anniversary. The Orleans Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, and by Remax, and by the Irwindale Speedway, LA's half-mile super speedway.
You know, NASCAR's been a part of my family for almost 30 years. First of all, I got in this business because I'm a race fan. I went to race as a little kid. I'm going to miss the people. I'm going to miss hanging out in the garage with the guys, the camaraderie, that bumping and grinding that we do on Sunday. The fans, the drivers, the crews, it's just a way of life. For 40 years, I've gotten up on Sunday, put my helmet on, and raced. I'm really going to miss it.
Comparing the delicious sausage, egg, and cheese crisp sandwich from Burger King to the Egg McMuffin is a lot like judging a beauty contest. You give points for originality, taste, and that certain inner beauty. But in the end, it's the one with all the curves that always seems to win.
People prefer the crisp sandwich from Burger King. Taste it yourself and see why. Now just 99 cents.
Got the urge?
Chevy Blazer LT, the only vehicle in its class with OnStar and lots of other security features. A little security in an insecure world. Blazer, like a rock.
Select road. Validating tires.
What kind of road can you drive on with BF Goodrich tires?
Enjoy.
Any road you choose. And now we've been ranked best original equipment tire for light truck vehicles and customer satisfaction by J.D. Power and Associates. BF Goodrich tires. Take control.
Back at Irwindale Speedway in Southern California, the Home Depot 250 for the NASCAR Winston West Series getting set to go here on Speed Vision. The field making their parade and pace laps now. Here's a look at the starting lineup. Bobby Dotter on pole, fresh off his win at Laguna Seca last race out, alongside 22-year-old John Borneman III. In a terrific qualifying effort, Austin Cameron and former series champ Bill Sedgwick will share row number 2 for tonight's race. Here's Mike Duncan, the leading rookie in the season, alongside Jason Small. In row number 3, row number 4 is Jeff Jefferson and John Metcalf, the Colorado veteran.
There's John Metcalf. We can look for a strong run out of him tonight. I've been watching him all year long. It's been fun to watch. Kevin Richards starting there, and Scott Gaylord alongside.
Kevin Richards second in points coming into tonight's event. Troy Klein, one of the Rookie of the Year candidates, and veteran Steve Portingay sharing row number 6. Row number 7 is the point leader Brendan Gaughan alongside Eric Norris.
Those two guys starting a little deep in the field. You can watch for both of them to move to the front, along with Woods there and Joe Bean. He's starting on the outside of the row there.
Row number 9, Clint Mears, familiar name from Bakersfield, alongside Gary Collins, another veteran from the Bakersfield area. Row number 10 is Greg Voigt and Kenny Smith. The 11th row, Rick Bogart, another one of the rookie contenders. And Sammy Potashnik, the Missouri native. The 12th row is Mike Grady from New Mexico and Jack Sellers from Sacramento. And rounding out the field, Gene Christensen of Texas and Sean Woodside, who starts last in 26th position on a provisional. Take a look at some of our in-car cameras for tonight.
There's 05, John Metcalf. He'll be strong tonight, like I mentioned earlier. He's starting on the outside, working those tires in, getting a little bit of heat in those. Kevin Richards is setting alongside there. He's on the inside of the racetrack when the race starts. Like I said, these banks are progressive, Alan. They're a little bit lower on the bottom, and then as you work up top, it's banked more, so you'll see guys in different lanes. Gone here, point leader. He's starting deep in the field. Like I said, it tells you about the competition in this Winston West Series.
There's Eric Norris starting back in 14th position with our Janny King camera.
He's got Ultra Wheel sponsorship on the side of that car. I like Eric Norris. I think he'll do good tonight. Joe Bean starting in the Food for Less Ford number 77 car. Like I said, deep in the field, but these are all very competitive race cars.
16th position for Joe Bean, and so those are the looks we'll have from inside the cars tonight. Getting set to go. 250 laps for the NASCAR Winston West Series in Irwindale, Southern California. Green flag, and we're underway. Good jump by Borneman from the outside lane. He squirts out in front in turn 2.
He's made a point to let everybody know he's going to be a factor this year. He's been strong all year long, moving up in the points. He's 22 years old, a rookie that is doing a great job. You can see that banking working like we spoke of earlier. Guys taking different lines all around this little racetrack. It's pretty fun to watch.
Here's Austin Cameron in the 12 and Bill Sedgwick in the 44, side by side for third position, behind Borneman there in the 8. And Bobby Dotter, the veteran originally from Chicago, now living in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. A lot of Busch Series experience behind him, and he has fallen in line in second spot after starting on pole.
You can see Borneman working off the second turn. There are some good-looking race cars, Alan. These things look like Winston Cup cars. They're built just like them. They drive just like them. They've got the templates that match the Cup cars. So what you're watching here is a Winston Cup race on a half-mile, basically, on the West Coast.
And the other thing I was thinking as you were talking about that, when we saw the shower of sparks off Borneman's car when he left turn 2, is they're set up like Winston Cup cars these days with the soft springs and the shocks and so on.
Yeah, and you'll see that early in the race because the air pressure in the tires, these guys, they know what's going on. They let that air pressure down because as the race wears on, that pressure will come up, and you need to get that tire soft as you can when the race starts. So when you run 20 or 30 laps, the thing is still manageable.
Borneman and Dotter there, first and second. There it is, bottoming out again. I wonder how much of that might be caused by transitioning from the taller banking on the outside. That time when he jumped into the corner, he went into that middle groove from the 12 to the 9-degree banking. Wonder if that's some of the bottoming out we're seeing.
It definitely has something to do with it, but it's the fact that we're early in the race and the tires aren't up yet. So anywhere that there's a dip or a little bit of a transition, you're going to see that spark showers coming out from underneath the car. You can see Cameron. He's real interested in that lower lane. He's checking that thing out. He's wanting to see if he can get down there and make it work. And it looks like early in the going, he is indeed making it work.
There is Austin Cameron in the 12, ducking to the inside of Bill Sedgwick in the 44. This is a race for third position. They're in turn 3 here.
Man, you don't know how hard it is to complete some of those passes. You can get alongside of a guy, but when you need his room to come off the turn and sweep up to the wall on the straightaway, sometimes it's a hard pass to make. We're getting deep enough into the race here. If a guy's got a setup that's only good for a few laps, he's going to start to fade a little bit. And the guys that are going to be good for the long haul will start to come to the front. I know it's only been 7, 8, 10 laps, but still you can tell early in the going what you got as far as a setup for the long haul.
Dipping a little farther back into the pack, that's Scott Gaylord in the 00, working on John Metcalf in the 05. Looking at it from Metcalf's car inside, he is down the bottom side of the racetrack. Taking a look at Jeff Jefferson for position there.
That's the Flute.com car. I like that.
See?
I don't know what
Jason
it is.
Small up ahead in the 14.
Spelled backwards, but I got to get on that. There's Scott Gaylord working the high side. Look at the difference in the lines there. 3 cars all over those multi-bankings that we spoke of. There's a progressive banking. That's what I've been looking for.
Progressive. That's a 3-syllable word, Mike. I'm proud of you.
I'm moving up.
Looking at the race here for 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Now watching Brendan Gaughan, the point leader, trying to move up from his starting spot. Gaughan working here on Eric Norris for his position. This should be for the 11th spot in the early going.
And Gaughan takes it away. Eric Norris up on the high side, Gaughan down on the bottom. This is our point leader, and you can see all that traffic around him. He's got 4 or 5 cars right in front of him and 4 or 5 cars pressuring down on him. So he's got to be a little nervous here early in the going, knowing that he's the point leader and knowing he's in such heavy traffic.
Started in 13th position, has moved up to the 11th spot. Next ahead for him will be Steve Portingay's car, running in 10th. That's the white and black number 3 machine just ahead. Looks like people are a little bottled up behind Jason Small. These 5 or 6 cars just kind of all knotted up in traffic. There's Portingay looking for 9th spot on Scott Gaylord down low.
And it's no secret as to why the grandstands are full and people are excited about this racetrack. This is providing some great action. And again, I want to tip my hat to the Winston West Series. Look at the competition. You've got guys running all over each other. That's what the fans come to see. It doesn't matter what kind of track you got. If the cars aren't competitive and you don't have people on it putting on a show, you're not going to get fans. Look at this. 2 wide. Man, this is good racing.
Yeah. Portingay takes the low side to get around Metcalf. Now here's Brendan Gaughan going to try the high side to get around a couple of others as they work off turn number 2. 3 degrees of banking, 6, 9, and 12 here at Irwindale. A graduated banking, and Brendan Gaughan still working that 12-degree high side to get around Scott Gaylord.
Man, that makes a difference. The short, oh, look there, 09 up
car in
against the
trouble.
wall.
Have one in trouble up against the wall. Caution is out. Gene Woods has found early trouble here, and the yellow is out for the first time in tonight's Home Depot 250. And look, Mike Grady's in trouble as well. He is stopped on the racetrack.
Those look suspiciously like tire problems, Alan. Anytime you see guys come to a stop on the top side of the, and you can see there the smoke off the right front tire. When you see that situation, generally it's a guy that's had a flat. He's going to get up high on the racetrack to keep from getting in the traffic, and that'll bring out the caution.
Down the pit lane for the tire change. And so an early yellow here with Gene Woods in trouble. And this caution comes out just 17 laps into the Home Depot 250.
We heard on the starting grid from the pole sitter that the tires were a concern, that the track was a little bit abrasive on them, and that they tend to want to blow out. And we're only 17 laps into the race, and we see a problem here on the 09 car.
An aerodynamic adjustment being made there.
Yes.
Let's take a break while we're under caution. It's early in the Home Depot 250 at Irwindale. We'll come back on Speed Vision in a minute.
Well, in the truck series, you know, we're not afraid to beat and bang a little bit to get the spot or to get the win.
Competition is so stiff, you got to rough somebody up to get to the front.
You know, when you're looking in the rearview mirror, they're your friend. If you're looking through the windshield, they're your enemy.
You have to use that chrome horn and lay the bumper to the guy in front of you.
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. This is NASCAR.
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series is as tough as it gets, bud.
Dad lost his hair early. When I started losing mine, I checked it out with a dermatologist, and he said Rogaine. It's 2 years later now, and I don't see any difference. Doc was right. You can keep the hair you have with Rogaine.
Road and Track Salute to American Grand Prix Drivers is presented by Champion Spark Plugs.
Phil Hill made his way to Formula One by being one of the great sports car drivers. His crowning achievement came in 1961. He battled all season long with Ferrari teammate Wolfgang von Trips for the World Drivers' Championship, which was highlighted with a win at Mighty Spa. Victory at Monza clinched the title for Hill, but tragically von Trips was killed, spoiling Hill's chance to fully celebrate becoming America's first world champion.
Let's go racing! It's a monster mini event around the weekend. See Mom and Aaron running George Hopkins 6-cylinder small block, take out 11 jobs at once.
Champion Platinum Power spark plugs make any car feel high performance. So choose the world's favorite spark plug, Champion.
Next weekend, join Speed Vision for a weekend packed with American muscle. First, the Grand Am season heats up with high speeds at Road America. Then, shift gears with American Le Mans. Panos carries the flag into Sears Point. Then, twist the grip with Grand Prix 500 points leader American Kenny Roberts at the German Grand Prix. That's Grand Am racing from Road America. Live American Le Mans Series at Sears Point and the German Grand Prix, only on Speed Vision.
Be there.
Back at Irwindale, and Eric Norris is on pit road in the Janny King Ford. More tire troubles, possibly. We've seen a couple of them already here just in the first 17 laps of this race.
That's a little bit different than what we saw earlier, though, Alan. Woods, he had a problem with his right front tire, and we saw changing on the left side there with Norris's car. So that'll be, we need to get our pit reporter to check that out and let us know what's going on.
1 to go signal from the starter stand. We'll go back at it next time by. The race lead in the hands of young John Borneman at this point, with Bobby Donner having fallen back to third, and Austin Cameron now moved up to the number 2 position. Down to the inside, that is Gene Christensen, the only car 1 lap down at this point. He will try and get a lap back on this restart if he can from the race leader. As we get set to go back at it, this restart going to come at lap number 23. Pace cars off. And a little bit of a slow start there. Here we go.
If Johnny Borneman's on the move, he's got a good restart going now. A couple of car lengths over Austin Cameron. We've seen Austin continually look to the bottom of the racetrack, and he's back down there again.
Is the bottom of the racetrack going to be harder on the tires and on the car than the top might be?
I think definitely. You're making the corner sharper, and when you do that, it's more abuse on the tires. There's no doubt about it. So if you can swing around the top of the racetrack and keep your speed up and keep the lead, then that's where you need to be. But this early in the going, he's not abusing that car, especially if it's handling well. You can see right here, he's looking a little lower, but not much. You can see Portingay. Now, he's right down on the bottom of the racetrack. That's a handful when you do that.
Oh, contact off the corner. Bouncing off is Jeff Jefferson. Keep an eye on that, see if he did any damage to his right front tire or knocks the suspension out of line.
Yeah, he definitely did some aerodynamical damage.
John Borneman leading the race, a youngster running just 5 races this year. Let's hear from him.
It's hard doing it out of your own pocket. We're trying to get a sponsor for next year to run the whole season. So I just wanted to get introduced, to this series this year and show people I can do it. Hoping for a sponsor. And then we're going to regroup next year, maybe get some more cars, more motors, equipment. We're right now we only got 2 cars, 1 motor. It's hard to swap back and forth.
22-year-old from Ramona, California. Well, if he's trying to impress some people this year, he has done it so far. Nearly won the last series race on the road course at Laguna Seca till a flat tire on the final lap took him out of contention. He's led all the laps so far. Here's a terrific race for position. John Metcalf thinking about making it 3 wide as he dips down to the bottom side of the racetrack. That's Kevin Richards in the 85.
Mike Duncan up ahead.
Yep, Mike Duncan, the leading rookie candidate on the series this year.
One thing you won't have a problem with Mike Duncan is seeing his number. That 9 is all the way down the side of the car.
It's about triple wide, isn't it?
Oh, Borneman, he might be planning on running 2 races right now, but the way he's running, he led the biggest part of Laguna Seca and then leading the race here in Irwindale early in the going. That schedule could get stretched out a little bit. Man, he's impressive early on.
This is racing for 5th position. Richards on the move, down low, off of turn number 4. He is working hard to try and get himself back up at the front of the stack.
Colorado veteran John Metcalf hooking the bottom, though, and looking good early in the race here. Scott Gaylord is right behind these 2, and as you can see, Mike Duncan just going out of the picture there.
Mike in the 9 car as Richards completes the pass on him. You look ahead now at Jason Small. He'll be the next one that Richards will work on. He quickly yanks the car to the left at the start-finish line. They're going to try and make a bid for that spot in 1.
anytime you see, you know, we saw some really competitive qualifying. I couldn't believe that Dotter and Borneman tied for the pole, and the fact that Dotter's ahead in points, he wound up with the pole. But you never see a tie for the pole. And guys like Brendan Gaughan starting back 16th, 17th position, these cats are making their way to the front. And when they're able to do that, you know, as the race wears on, they're going to be up front. It's going to be a good race for them because the competition is so tight and they're able to make these early moves.
I'll tell you what, Richards is really making his car work on the low side of the racetrack. Riding with him as he works on Brendan Gaughan for a spot. Steve Portingay just ahead. Look at Richards hook the bottom.
And he's right on the point leader there, Brendan Gaughan off 2. He's working the bottom like you said, Alan. The car looks like, I mean, it is abusing the tires more. There's no doubt about that. He's right down on the white line, but the car's obviously free, so it's not pushing and wearing on the right front tire. He's able to make it work on the bottom.
6th position for Richards as he completes the pass on Gaughan. Next to work on Steve Portingay, the number 5 runner at this point. Portingay just ahead in the 3 car. So Richards on the move in the early going. Also on the move is Austin Cameron as he closes in on the back of leader John Borneman. Cameron keeps wanting to make that car hook up down low, but it just doesn't look like it wants to come up off the corner.
I believe he might have it now.
Might have spoken too soon. This is for the race lead.
Oh, and he made it look easy. He got to the bottom and then just bypassed Borneman and is out in front.
So Austin Cameron becomes the 2nd leader of this Home Depot 250 as he slips by John Borneman and takes over the top spot. Bobby Dotter still lurking there in 3rd position after starting on the pole.
You see, that's a guy there who started on the pole, and you know now that his setup's good for the long haul, too. He's fast on the short run, but in the long haul, he's going to be good as well because he's able to keep pace with the leaders.
And he talked about wanting to conserve tires and be a little bit careful, so letting somebody else set the pace and just kind of running as fast as you need to keep up. Not a bad strategy.
Not a bad strategy, and that comes from experience. Bobby Dotter has a lot of races under his belt. He's won races on the Busch Grand National level. He's also won all over Illinois and Wisconsin in that area, so now he knows what he's doing when he entered this race.
So Austin Cameron has moved out in front over John Borneman and Bobby Dotter. You see them coming to the stripe, 1, 2, and 3 there. We'll take a commercial break here and come back with more of the NASCAR Winston West Series from Irwindale in Southern California on Speed Vision.
TV used to be so simple. Now you have more choices than ever. Satellite TV, wireless systems, even the phone company. Seems like there's a new one every day. But when it's all said and done, nothing beats cable. And now with digital cable, I get more channels than ever. Even local channels that I don't get with satellite TV. Plus music and internet connections much faster than my phone line can provide. Cable TV. It's really smart.
We're paying our cable bill online now.
No checks to write.
No envelopes to lick.
Just do it from home.
With Shaw Online Customer Care.
We can view the bill.
Everything is very clear.
We pay basic cable,
digital cable,
Shaw at home, and
pay-per-view.
She picks the movies.
He picks the movies.
I pay the bills.
I pay the bills.
What's up with that?
The whole 88 team, they're not just people I work with, they're like family to me.
Families are real important in NASCAR. My father got me into it, and now it's my turn.
Hey, can I borrow the keys to your car this weekend?
No. Families are great support, but I compete with my brother. So do the Burtons, the Wallaces, and we all want to win.
Hey, look, I love my brothers, but I'm not going to let them pass me on Sunday.
This is NASCAR.
Dad!
No. OLN is your ticket to adventure to the amazing Himalayas. To find out where, watch OLN's exclusive primetime coverage of the Ray Gawaz, August 23rd at 8. For details and to enter, click on away.com, and away you'll go.
Back at Irwindale Speedway in Southern California, it's the Home Depot 250 for the NASCAR Winston West Series. On Speed Vision, Alan Bestwick along with Michael Waltrip and Kenny Sargent. In trouble for Eric Norris. We saw him on pit road under the earlier caution, now showering sparks from behind the car again. And pretty obvious what the problem is there.
You got a right front going down. Eric Norris works out of Jim Smith's shops out there in California, so I know Jim's really interestingly watching what's going on with Eric here. It looks like the thing just blew out on him. He's got a cut-down tire. The guys are trying to get under the right side and get it jacked up and put 2 more tires on it.
He's also gotten into the wall pretty good because he's pancaked the sheet metal over. See where the fenders are all wrapped around the rear tire as well. It's not been a good night for Eric Norris just in this early going.
It doesn't look like enough damage that it probably really hurt the car badly. They'll get those tires on there, and he should be able to run some speed again. Let's see what happened here. We're on the in-car camera and looking up ahead. Oh, look, right there, Alan.
Uh-oh. Oh,
maybe I shouldn't have spoke so quickly.
Not good.
Looked like he hit it plenty hard enough to do some damage, but he got the thing back to the bottom of the racetrack. That was a good move for him. He was able to cut across traffic and get right on pit road. You know, a lot of times you'll see a guy just limping around the bottom. It'd take him a lap or 2 to get in the pits because of the fact he can't turn the car once the tire blows. But he got it right in. That saved him a lot of time. Hopefully it won't hurt his finish too bad.
No problems for Austin Cameron so far. Cameron out in front, the 23-year-old from El Cajon, California, the Winston West Rookie of the Year back in 1998. Cameron started this race and moved quickly up into the race lead. He took the top spot at lap number 37. Now the challenge for second. Here comes Bobby Dotter down to the inside of John Borneman.
Dotter's working the low side. He's set patiently like he said he was going to do and rode in the 3rd position here for quite a while. We're 40, 50 laps into the race now, and he's just now beginning to make himself known. He looked to the inside of Borneman. Borneman picked him off nicely on the slower car there as they went down into turn 1 and is holding on to the 2nd position right now. But the way that 18 car is working, I'd say he's coming right back at him, going to make another run.
That was the Sammy Potashnik car that Borneman used as the basketball pick, and now here comes Dotter again, ducking down to that lower banking.
Borneman's strong on the outside.
Yeah, he is. He's able to keep the momentum up on the top side of the racetrack. But Dotter's not giving up. He is going to find a way to get that spot.
All the way down to the white line. We saw Austin Cameron make this move a few laps ago, and he made it much easier. He was able to bypass Borneman in a hurry. Now, Dotter returns the favor and picks Borneman off on the 15 car as they come through turn 2. But
done. Jack Sellers, the Wisconsin veteran. In Wisconsin. How about the Sacramento veteran there that Dotter used as the pick? Let's check down on pit road to Kenny Sargent.
Justin, we're looking at a pretty demolished tire. What happened? I think we got a hot brake and it popped the bead off the right front tire. It's a bummer. The car was running good. We're a little tight coming up, but we had it pretty much fixed. It's a bad shame here for our Janny King team. Working real hard and just bad luck. See if we can fix it for later on.
Eric Norris's team explaining the problem there. Brake heat causing troubles on his machine. Second time he was on pit road with problems, and this one it was big after he got into the outside wall that we saw a little while ago.
He got the car back on the track, though, and he's running okay. It hurt his chances to win tonight, obviously, but he's a lap down, but the car's still competitive. His speeds are still good. I'm looking on the computer here.
About the biggest lead anyone has had all night is what Austin Cameron's got now. After starting in 3rd position, he's opened up about a half a straightaway, as you see. Back to Bobby Dotter in 2nd. Dotter trying to reel him in just a little bit.
These first 2 cars both on Goodyear tires, and we hadn't seen any problems with either one of those cars yet, so this could be a developing story as well, Alan.
The 11 car is Troy Klein, one of the Rookie of the Year contenders in the Nascar Winston West Series that the leader just disposes of and puts a lap down. Troy Klein in 17th position as you look at our Napa field summary, telling you where everyone is running at this point. 45 car there, Sean Woodside, the defending series champ. This is his first start of the season. Where you been, Sean?
Been running the Southwest Tour, some Craftsman truck races, and anything that's got wheels, I'll drive it. You know, if it's a wagon, I'll go drive a wagon. But just trying to, get up the NASCAR ladder to the next series, and we come back and run some West races this year and try and maybe put a truck program or something together, and just trying to win races and get on Speed Vision and let people know who I am.
Well, he's gotten on Speed Vision tonight. We're glad to let everybody know who he is. Now, Sean started last in this race because he wasn't here for qualifying. He was up at Sears Point running the Southwest Tour race, and trouble once again. This is Clint Mears, and he's heading off into the outer pit area of the racetrack, the part of the track where the weekly racing series teams park and where the haulers are and that kind of thing here, and that's not good.
He has hit the wall harder
the right of your
shower
screen.
spark. Boy, that's contact. Eric Norris just bounced off the wall a little bit. This car here went in pretty good. He's going to have to go to the pits for some lengthy repairs.
Another tire problem caused that?
Definitely. You don't just see a car down in the middle of the corner shoot up the track like that and get into the wall without the right front tire going away. You can see Austin Cameron's still leading. We're going to go to break. We'll be right back to Irwindale right after this.
There are times when you have trouble sleeping because you can't stop thinking about the tensions of the day. Try something different. New Aluna Sleep, the herbal supplement that won't knock you out, but relaxes you so you can drift off to sleep naturally. Aluna is not a drug. There are no groggy side effects. It promotes a natural sleep pattern in just a few nights. New Aluna. It doesn't make you sleep. It lets you sleep.
He's been voted the most powerful on-air personality in sports. He's larger than life. He sparked a passion taking the country by storm. And the Sporting News says he's generated more buzz than Oprah Winfrey and Larry King. He's arguably the hippest, freshest, funniest sports talker working today.
You're underpaid. There's no question about that.
That is some serious smack. Jim Rome, The Last Word. Weeknights at 6:30 and 11:30 on Fox Sports Net. Welcome to the jungle.
You have entered the racing news and information superhighway. Speed Vision News Race Week. An in-depth coverage by those experts who live it. Get the inside line on Speed Vision News Race Week every week. Tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific.
Gaylord trying to fend off a challenge from John Metcalf. The orange and white 00 is Gaylord, and Metcalf in the red and white 05 behind him.
Ooh, the lead battle's tightening up. Bobby's looking on the outside. Now, this is something we haven't seen yet, Alan, and it doesn't look like we're going to see it here. It looked for a second like Bobby Dotter was going to try to run around the top side of Austin Cameron and grab the lead, but he's went to the bottom. It looks like, oh, what a move. And is that his teammate?
That is his teammate, Gene Christensen, who got up high in the lane that Austin Cameron was running. I don't think it was anything intentional, but it certainly helped his team effort out.
It looked perfectly choreographed, but I don't think anyone could have planned out a move so nicely.
Bobby Dotter back out in front, lap number 64. He takes the lead. Dotter started on pole, but has yet to actually lead a lap. John Borneman led the first 36, Austin Cameron 37 to 64, and now it is Dotter out in front. Lap 65 now, 66 as he comes to the start-finish line. Dotter, we talked about, going to try and take his time, conserve his tires through the opening part of the race. Now, maybe he's in a little bit better shape than Cameron and Borneman and some of the other guys that were pressing a little bit harder earlier in the event. And here's Greg Boyd about to go a lap down as Dotter cycles up underneath him off turn 4.
He stayed out in front of the leaders for a long time, Boyd did. He's got a good car. Dotter talked about those Goodyear tires on the starting line, how he was going to pace himself early. That plan has worked out perfectly. So we see Bill Sedgwick here dropping down to the bottom of the turn with Portengay right behind him. These guys are battling hard in the pack, and that abuses your tires a little bit more. Dotter's got himself out front with a whole clear racetrack, and he's able to drive the car where he wants to, and it looks like it's working out great.
This is 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th position. Sedgwick in 4th, the two-time series champ in the red number 44. Portengay in the 3 and 5th. Brendan Gaughan in 6th in the 16. You can Scott Gaylord in 7th in the 00.
You can see Eric Norris there. We saw him bump into the wall earlier. I said I didn't think it would hurt the car too bad, and it hasn't. He's able to run real competitively in that car.
Yeah, I mean, he's up to speed with some of those in the top 5.
Look at him through the center of the corner. It's working good. That little ultra wheel Janny King Ford is looking right.
And the problem is
he's 3 laps down. Well, can we forget that part for now?
He'd probably like to if he could talk NASCAR timing and scoring into it.
What a battle there, though. You see the 44 of Sedgwick and the 3 of Portengay. These are 2 veterans of the series. They've been around a long time, and I know that they just love running at this Irwindale Speedway. This is a place where a driver wants to race. He comes to a place like this. It's got a great racing groove, 3 wide racing in the corners as possible. Their kids can be up in the grandstands listening to music or eating hot dogs, and it's just a perfect setting for a Saturday night race.
You like that, do you?
I do a lot.
You mentioned it twice off the air, and now you got it on the air, too. This is a race for the 5th position, make a 4th position. Steve Portengay wasting no time trying to take advantage of the bottom groove after Sedgwick, who had been running low, moved up a little bit. Portengay going to try and fill that low side and see if he can complete the pass.
Here comes the point leader, Brendan Gaughan. 0 zeroing in on this battle, too, wanting to be a part of the top 5.
Having just picked up his $10,000 check before the race for being the point leader a third of the way through the Winston West campaign in 2000.
Wasn't shy about making a 3 wide either, was he?
He's going to try and go even lower.
You can see Eric North hanging right with this battle, so I don't want to overstate it, but you can see that he bounced off the wall. This is how tough these Winston Cup-style cars are. Oh, I thought I saw somebody going to the wall.
Top side of the racetrack, you did. Scott Gaylord, 7th place runner. Ouch on the right front. Caution is out. Tough luck for the Colorado veteran, who has got a lot of problems under the corner of that car, as you can see.
And I was just making the point about how tough these cars are. They're obviously not that tough. He's hit the wall significantly down there in turns 3 and 4. I seen him just at the top of the screen shoot out of the frame and into the outside wall. I knew at the angle that he left the screen, it was going to be a hard hit.
It wasn't going to be anything good, right? Nothing constructive was going to come from it. Scott Gaylord, 7th in points coming into tonight's event, and you can see he has got all kind of suspension problems there just by the angle that right front tire's at, and the fact that it's not turning at all. He's trying to stay on the racetrack and see if he can stay on the lead lap perhaps before he comes to pit road. Here's a replay. Look at the spot shadow upper right. Boom. Telltale. Bottom to the top.
That is not good.
Tough luck there for Scott Gaylord.
Brought out the caution.
Yep, 41-year-old from Lakewood, Colorado. And now he's finally going to bring it around to pit road.
He tried to stay on the lead lap and keep himself in a position to where if the wheel was, he doesn't know the wheel isn't turning, but he thought maybe if it was, they could just bend some sheet metal out, maybe put a new tire on it. A lot of times you can tell the severity of the wreck by what your steering wheel did. You know, you index your wheel so that your hands fit comfortably on it. If you hit the wall and it's turned, then you know you got problems.
And that would explain why the little piece of white tape sometimes in the top center of the steering wheel. Big troubles here as the crew goes to work trying to fix the right front corner of the machine. And here come a lot of the leaders onto pit road. Begin to come in for their service. You see John Borneman in, Bill Sedgwick is in, and Steve Portingay among the front runners. Kenny Sargent's on pit road. He'll cover the John Borneman stop for us. Let's go there now.
As the number 8 car, Johnny Borneman, the third, pulls in. An interesting story about Johnny. As you notice on the hood, no major sponsor. Kind of a ragtag crew. In fact, what's amazing is this gentleman is number 12 in points after racing just 4 of the 5 races and doing a heck of a job here tonight at Irwindale.
Borneman down and away, heading back onto the racetrack. There's Brendan Gaughan. Getting service, the point leader.
Brendan's gone.
There he goes. It's too easy for you. Bill Sedgwick, long stop there. Looks like they're having some troubles on the left rear.
He's getting 4 tires, too. We saw 2 for Borneman there.
And that is Clint Mears with continued work on his car. We saw him into the outside wall earlier. Gary Collins also with some problems on his car as they're up inside the machine.
Sometimes that'll be electrical when they're in there trying to work around, or else driver comfort. Maybe he's gotten a little bit warm in the car.
So Bobby Dotter stays on the racetrack when a lot of the other front runners pitted under this caution. Austin Cameron did as well, and they will hold on to the top 2 spots in the Home Depot 250 at Irwindale Speedway in Southern California. Division coverage continues after this.
If you've ever missed... Golf's oldest championship will return to the game's birthplace in honor of the millennium. The 2000 British Open from St. Andrews, Scotland. Experience it on the Golf Channel beginning July 17th with a full week of special programming, including nightly news and highlights, in-depth analysis, and your opinions. British Open Week begins July 17th on the Golf Channel.
When it's time to sell your home, accessing the most effective home selling service in the information age is as easy as point and click. The Real Estate Teleguide is your best source for local real estate listings. We're there for home buyers 24 hours a day, big as life and as close as the remote control. Drop by, make yourself at home. Ask your real estate professional about showing your home on television. The Real Estate Teleguide. Check your local listings.
Truck Series races, they'll understand what trading paint is.
You definitely do a lot of bumping and rubbing with 5 to go.
It is the very best racing car, side-by-side competitive racing, I think, going.
Once
the green flag drops, there's no friends on the racetrack.
I come in and race against these guys, and they kick me, they run over me, they tear the sides off my truck.
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. This is NASCAR.
In our family, men lose their hair early. Thank you. So I've been using Rogaine for about 2 years now, and I don't see any difference. And that's the idea. You keep the hair you have. Look, I love my dad. I'm just not in a rush to look like him. Rogaine, it's stronger than heredity.
Back at Irwindale Speedway in Southern California, the Home Depot 250 for the NASCAR Winston West Series on Speed Vision, getting set to go back racing after caution came out moments ago for problems for Scott Gaylord, who was running in 7th spot at the time. Some of the front runners pitted, some did not. You look at the top two, Bobby Dotter in the 18 car in the outside row at the head of the pack, and Austin Cameron in the orange number 12. They did not pit under this caution flag. Eric Norris trying to get one of his laps back down to the inside of the race leader as we go back at it. Green flag is in the air.
See how bad that car's damaged now. Eric drove up beside the leader here and trying to get his lap back. Makes a nice move through 1 and 2.
There's your Napa Field summary at lap number 80. You see where everybody's running after the pit stops and in the restart. Austin Cameron earlier in the race was hunting that bottom lane when he looked to get around and eventually did get around John Borneman for the race lead. Looks like he's thinking about hunting that lower lane again. And if you work with us at the top of our broadcast, this Irwindale Speedway has graduated banking. 3 different degrees of banking in the corner. Right where the leader's running now is only 6 degrees. Middle of the racetrack, it's 9 degrees. All the way out by the wall, it's 12 degrees. And when you get the car down on the lower banking, sometimes it works the tires a little harder than it does when you're able to let it roll around the top.
The shorter way around, but it's definitely more abrasive on the tires because you're making that corner sharper, so it's harder on the equipment. But there's times in the race when you got to make that move. You got to dive down to the bottom, and you got to abuse the tires a little bit to grab the position, and that's exactly what Cameron's doing now, looking to the inside of Eric Norris.
Here are some of the cars who got fresh tires under caution flag pit stops a moment ago, trying to pick their way up through the field and catch that man, Bobby Dotter. And that little look told you how far they are behind him in traffic on the restart. Look back from here. Dotter's kind of opened up just about the biggest lead anybody's had all night so far.
Yeah, isn't it neat, Alan, to see on a half-mile short track the leader running? Whoa, we got a
trouble.
spin.
Caution, trouble off turn 2. That's Gene Woods in the 09 car. Yellow number 4. He got down to the inside of the racetrack after a spin and hung up in the grass there a little bit.
Joe Bean was also involved in that spin off turn 2. Doesn't look like either car's damaged. Woods brings his car to pit road, though.
He had trouble earlier in the event. We saw him on the pit lane, and he's going to have some more trouble here. Although it does, you're right, it doesn't look like anything significantly damaged. Maybe just flat spotted some tires.
Yeah, his crew didn't really expect him. Here comes some tires.
You make the change and get that done, and we'll take advantage of the caution flag to take another commercial break. Bobby Dotter leads the Home Depot 250 at Irwindale.
Weeds, brush, brambles, they're turning parts of your land into an overgrown jungle. But now there is a solution. The amazing new DR Field and Brush Mower can help you reclaim overgrown parts of your property and keep your place looking great with less work than you ever dreamed possible. Now, you could try to mow this overgrown roadside ditch with a handheld brush cutter. Or you might try to use a sickle bar style mower. But these machines vibrate so much they're exhausting to use. In contrast, the DR Field and Brush Mower is the picture of smoothness. The DR knocks over brush and saplings up to 1 inch thick and chops everything into small pieces so there's no tangle of vegetation to trip over. And when you're done mowing, there's nothing left to rake, pick up, burn, or dispose of. The DR's secret is that it works much like a big tractor-mounted brush mower, but in a walk-behind version that's scaled and priced just right for homeowners. Plus, the DR can mow on slopes where you'd never take a tractor, and it can mow in soft, wet areas where a tractor would sink up to its axles. With its lighter weight and wide tires, the DR mows wet fields, along streams, and around ponds with ease. 4 speeds and 8 to 15 horsepower let you mow wide open spaces at nearly an acre an hour. Or you can take your time in woodlots, thinning out the underbrush around trees you want to keep. There's even a reverse gear for maneuvering in tight places. So if parts of your property are getting so overgrown that no ordinary mower can keep them under control, call now for complete details on the amazing new DR Field and Brush Mower. For your free color catalog all about the DR All-Terrain Field and Brush Mower, call toll-free 1-800-816-7676. Direct from factory off-season savings are now in effect. So call now 1-800-816-7676 for your free DR catalog.
It happens here and only here. You get every race, every moment live. Tomorrow, accelerate as the big boys take on Remus Curve at the F1 Austrian Grand Prix. Live only on Speed Vision. How could you stay away?
Get set to go back racing momentarily in the Home Depot 250 from Irwindale Speedway. Southern California, the NASCAR Winston West Series on Speed Vision. And as we get set to go back racing, here is the third place car, Kevin Richards, coming down pit road.
That's interesting. Right before the restart, you don't usually see a guy pit. I don't know if he's got a problem on this car or what.
You would have thought if it was a scheduled stop, he would have come in right at the first lap of the caution flag. But here is Richards in as you sit inside his car with him, waiting for the work to be done.
Getting him two fresh Hoosiers on the right side of that little hot rod.
Looks like it's just going to be right side tires. Lots of trouble there on the rear tire. Getting it in place, getting it tightened down, and this is costly to Richards. Look at how much time it's taken.
He's got her changed there on his way. He came in right before the restart. Let's see if he can beat the green flag or what kind of shape. He's got to maintain a pit road speed here, so he can't just hustle out of the pits.
Now Richards coming around to the exit of pit road as the field comes off turn 4 to get the green flag. He's going to be way behind as we go back at it. Lap 89, Bobby Dotter and Austin Cameron, the top two, in that outside lane.
Eric Norris fighting for that lap back again.
He was up there last restart, only ran a few laps of green before we got another caution flag. Let's see if he has any more success this time. Meanwhile, the leader, Bobby Dotter, has not yet stopped for tires thus far in this event. Kenny's down on pit road with his crew chief.
He's been out there a while. How are the tires handling?
Oh, the tire's doing great. Goodyear bought a real good tire here. We're real happy with it. We was a little worried about it at first, but turns out the Goodyear bought an excellent tire. We ended up doing real good. We got the pole, so we can't complain at all.
Can you tell us when you're coming in?
No, I can't tell you that.
You see, he's a true gambler.
Well, Bobby Dotter running the Goodyears, some others running the Hoosiers, and a little bit of a tire war going in the NASCAR Winston West Series. So far, the Goodyear teams, at least according to the leader's crew chief, feeling pretty comfortable.
Yeah, you know, when you get on a set on a track like this, he's able to maintain the lead. Sometimes you don't want to take a chance to come in and get new ones and give up that track position, especially with a battle like this. I was saying earlier, Alan, isn't it neat to see on a half-mile track the leader running up next to the wall? We usually see everybody diving to the bottom and fighting over the bottom. This is racing here. You can go anywhere you want.
And this is for third position as John Metcalf continues to move up through the field. Metcalf in the 05 up top. Steve Portingay trying to take the short way around, go under the lap car of Eric Norris and see if he can get third spot from Metcalf.
Johnny Borneman laying right in there with him, coming to the front as well.
Wow, that's fun. Look at that.
The Colorado veteran John Metcalf in the Remax Chevy. He's looking to run into that guy.
Looking to not crash at the moment, yeah. Metcalf, the 52-year-old there, fighting with Steve Portingay for that spot. Looks like Portingay is going to get the good run up off of turn 4 and claim the number 3 position. Portingay's been hanging around that top 3 or 4 all night long, but we haven't yet been able to see him get up and challenge for the lead as we ride with John Metcalf in the Remax Chevy.
That's Rick Bogart in that blue car ahead of him. Rick received a little punt in the back from John earlier.
Rick is not on the lead lap at this point. In fact, he is running 2 laps down to the race leader. Borneman muscling his way past the lap traffic. John Borneman trying to move up a spot. That'll put him to 4th position with Metcalf now sliding to the 5th spot.
Greg Voigt's been impressive tonight. That car's just steadily and consistently. We saw him come out of the pits right in front of the leaders. At one point, was able to hang on, and now he's battling right in this pack.
He is trying to get up and see if he can't get back on the lead lap. Voigt in the 13, just out of your frame. There he is, the white car there, lower right of the screen. He is 1 lap down.
Fighting his way, trying to fight back to the lead lap. And looks like he's got a good enough car to run with these guys if he can just make that lap up. see the flames burning out of the side of the 05 there. That's just unused fuel, raw fuel, and the header pipes getting burned off. Nothing to concern yourself with.
Watching this car with John Borneman, the 8 machine, it is a Ford Taurus, and that orange paint that's on the lower nose of the car, well, there's a reason for that. This is an ex-Ricky Rudd racing machine from when Rudd owned his own team last year. The Tide colors, just a little trace of the car's history in the paint job there. This is a car, I believe I was told that Rudd won Martinsville with in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series, and then when they had the auction and sale and so on, when Rudd closed his own team down to go drive for Robert Yates, Borneman and his team picked it up.
Well, I spoke earlier how these cars are just like Winston Cup cars. In this case, that is a Winston Cup car. Yeah. These cars have to adhere to the same rules that we do. Woodside, talked to him earlier a little bit, tried to figure out what's been going on in his racing world, won the championship in '99, and started in the back of the pack today after racing at Sears Point in a Southwest Tour race, and he's moving his way to the front, Alan.
That is Woodside in the 45 there. As you look ahead at that battle from Eric Norris's machine, Sean Woodside starting this race in 26th position and has picked his way now at the midway point of the race up to 6th. Major movers in the race. From Janny King, well, Steve Portingay has moved up from 12th position to 2nd, just past the 100-lap mark. So Portingay is doing quite well here in the early going.
Woodside also started in the back, made his way to the front. We're going to go to break, Alan. Come back, check out the action right after this.
Champions agreement. Prolong engine treatment.
The Depression made one man a millionaire. He made a game out of greed. From the History Channel, the official network of every millennium, this is Time Lab 2000. In 1933, the country is in the grip of the Great Depression. Engineer Charles Darrow loses his job and runs short on money, but not inspiration. He spends his empty hours turning the dire headlines of foreclosures and bankruptcies into a game. When he brings it to Parker Brothers, they say it's too complicated and dull. But after a store in Philadelphia starts selling the game like hotcakes, the company does an about-face. Monopoly becomes a huge hit. Since then, more than 200 million sets have been sold in 80 countries. Darrow becomes a millionaire and helps the rest of us get rich too, if only in the game. For the History Channel, I'm Sam Waterston.
The Surfer's Journal rules the airwaves with raging tube action. Plus, check out Taylor Steele's rad videos for the newest, hottest talent in the water. The Surfer's Journal, only on OLN.
You know, NASCAR's been a part of my family for almost 30 years. First of all, I got in this business because I'm a race fan. I went to race as a little kid. I'm going to miss the people. I'm going to miss hanging out in the garage with the guys, the camaraderie, that bumping and grinding that we do on Sunday. The fans, the drivers, the crews, it's just a way of life. For 40 years, I've gotten up on Sunday, put my helmet on, and raced. I'm really going to miss it.
Back at Irwindale Speedway in Southern California, it's the Home Depot 250 for the NASCAR Winston West Series. Bobby Donner is your race leader in that blue and white 18 car, making his way around some of the slower machines in the event. Donner has a pretty good advantage right now over the second place runner, and we have a new second place runner at this point. It is Steve Portingay, who has moved up and taken the number 2 spot away. Here's a good dogfight for position between John Metcalf in the 05, Austin Cameron in the 12, and John Borneman in the 8th. Cameron kind of going the wrong way at this point. He was up in second spot a little while ago. Now he's slipping back.
The car's just not matched up. The tires or whatever the setup right now isn't the way he wants it.
Remember, he and Donner have not yet pitted for tires in the event, so he is on older rubber than these cars that are coming back by him.
That could have something to do with it.
You think?
Tires would be giving up by now as they both go around the outside of Jack Sellers there off turn 4.
Yeah, we're past the 100-lap mark in the event now on the original rubber he started the race on. Borneman down low.
Yeah, he's trying to persuade Austin to move up to the top groove. He wants the middle one. He doesn't want to dip to the bottom. He's crowding him over there, and that's a great battle here on this little tight half mile.
And how you persuade is with the right side sheet metal on the car?
Yes, you just use the old theory that 8 wheels are better for traction than 4, and you lay on him a little bit and get what you need.
Who taught you that? That must have been Schrader.
Yeah, I heard that out of Kenny Schrader, out of all of his racing experience over the years.
So Borneman moves up another spot. The 22-year-old continuing to have a very impressive run tonight here in Irwindale. And he now takes over the position from Austin Cameron. Borneman led the opening 36 laps of the race before falling back into the field just a little bit. Whoa. Trouble. That is Troy Klein. Caution is out. Troy Klein in trouble, spinning around in turn number 4. Doesn't look like he hit anything very hard.
That's been a real...
Well, maybe I'll take that back. He's hit something.
Laid on the right rear there a little bit, but that's been a real competitive car all night long. We'll see how much how that damage affects the way that the thing runs. Doesn't look bad to me, Alan.
This is the 5th caution of the Home Depot 250. So Troy Klein, one of the Rookie of the Year candidates in the NASCAR Winston West Series, in trouble here. He was not running on the lead lap. He was running 1 lap down at the time of his spin, and we go under the yellow flag once again.
Well, this will be interesting to see. Surely Dotter will bring that thing in the pits now. We saw the 12 of Austin Cameron beginning to fade back through the field a little bit. These guys surely will take this opportunity to get on pit road and get some tires on those cars.
Dotter and Cameron having not yet pitted, and let's watch here as they come down to the pits, and indeed it is Dotter on pit road now, and going for service from his crew. First time he'll stop tonight. We watch as the leader comes into his stall.
He started on pole. He led to the first pit stop. Now it's the crew's turn to make sure he returns to the racetrack up front. You can see the NASCAR official counting heads. He's just making sure we ain't got too many people over the wall, or don't have. I shouldn't say ain't got. I'm a broadcast expert now.
I was waiting for you to call yourself a professional there, and that's where I was going to draw the line. 4 tires for Dotter. Good call here, probably. Just about halfway through the race, huh? You think he'll make it a 1-stop race?
I think he will. The way the car was performing, he was holding the lead. When he came to the pits, you can see a great stop by the team. No delays. Nobody was holding anybody up. Gets back on. Look at there.
Yeah, there you go. We did our part. There's John Metcalf in for service. He's going to get 4 tires as well.
We saw the leader come in, put 4 Goodyears on his car. This is a Hoosier. Oh, got the jack dropping on the left side. Now the jack man's having a terrible time with that tire being in the way, but they're getting it back up. He's going to put 4 Hoosiers on this car before he returns to battle. John is my favorite driver. I love watching him run. He's a charger. He works hard. We're going to do a feature a week on these Winston West teams, kind of let people know what's going on in their worlds. The first one we're going to do is with John Metcalf as he tears out his pits here at Irwindale. Let's look at John Metcalf.
In NASCAR, relationships are key. The driver, the crew, and even the sponsor have to stay focused on the same goal. In Winston West, perhaps no relationship is more mutually beneficial than the pairing of John Metcalf and his sponsor, RE/MAX.
Being involved with RE/MAX is more than a dream come true for myself. You know, it's a first-class company. They've given us everything we need, equipment-wise, knowledge-wise, to run up front.
At 52, John Metcalf is living that dream when others would be thinking of retirement. For years, he raced late models at his home track in Colorado, but his big break came in 1996 when he was approached by another man who dreamed of racing, David Linegar, co-founder of RE/MAX.
When he decided to start this team, he not only wanted to have somebody else race for him, he wanted to race himself. So it seemed to be a perfect combination to where I could be fortunate enough to race for RE/MAX and help Mr. Linegar progress his racing career at the same time.
With his new sponsor, John entered the Featherlight Southwest Series and won Rookie of the Year at age 49. He's now in his 2nd year in Winston West. When time permits, Linegar joins him racing a 2nd car for Team RE/MAX.
We actually own and operate this team. This is not a team that we sponsor. Of course, RE/MAX sponsors the team, but we actually own and operate it at the same time, so it's a combined effort.
Today, RE/MAX is one of the most prolific sponsors in NASCAR. They supported a Craftsman Truck Series entry for Rick Corelli, have sponsored several NASCAR-sanctioned races, and in 1998 became title sponsor of the NASCAR RE/MAX Challenge Series.
More than signing a check and then coming at the track and shaking somebody's hand, we wanted to be involved in every aspect to have a full understanding of what it is to be involved as a competitor in somewhere like the Winston West Series.
It's no surprise this relationship is blooming, with a company committed to grassroots racing and a driver cut from the very same stock.
A lot of years coming, but I guess all the blood, sweat, and tears all those years of doing it on our own finally paid off, and here we are.
John Metcalf driving the RE/MAX machine here in the Home Depot 250 at Irwindale. We'll check on his progress when we continue our coverage in just a minute.
I'm Cristiano D'Amata.
I'm 5'4", 130 pounds. That's too short for basketball. Too small for football. Yeah, 20 times a year, I take on an opponent weighing over 1,500 pounds. My size hasn't seemed to hurt me. I kick.
On your scale from 1 to 10, how clean are your teeth right now? Want them cleaner? Get ready for a whole new level of clean. Introducing Advanced Cleaning from Crest Multicare. The best Crest ever at repelling stains, tartar buildup, and that filmy feeling. So your teeth feel slick and smooth. Your mouth feels cleaner long after you brush. And that's a feeling you can't measure. New Advanced Cleaning from Crest Multicare. Open up and smile.
What is speed vision?
What makes you want to mortgage your house?
It's hiking in a Schumacher getting busy, and you four-wheel drift in the family car. It's that Harley your wife made you sell. You know, your ex-wife. It's Amelia and her Electra. It's all the greatest racing flicks from the big screen. That's speed vision, and you got it. So turn on speed vision before the season passes you by.
Vision's coverage of the NASCAR Winston West Series tonight, the Home Depot 250. From Irwindale Speedway in Southern California, Alan Bestwick with Michael Waltrip. And getting ready to go back racing now, the new leader is Steve Portingay. Stayed on the track when Bobby Donner came down pit road for service under this caution, and so Portingay goes out in front for the first time all night.
Team Woods made the illegal move there.
You pointing that out?
I know, I've made that move before.
You've received the back end of that reprimand, right?
Yeah.
I'd be willing to bet that there's a little radio transmission being made right now in his behalf. Look at there, down low, making a nice Greg Voigt, trying to get himself back on the lead lap if he can. Voigt got a lap down earlier after coming off pit road just before another restart. He goes to the inside of leader Steve Portingay, and Voigt is back on the tail end of the lead lap.
Been checking him out all night. I knew that car was a contender. It's fast enough to drive around the leader right here and put a little ground on him. He gets a caution here and gets on back on the lead lap. This could be a contender before the night's over.
Here's Portingay leading. It is Mike Duncan who is second in the 9, up to third after starting last in the event. Sean Woodside in the 45 car. He's been on the move throughout the night. Bill Sedgwick pitted not under this caution, but the one previous. He's moved back up to the 4th spot. Sedgwick in the red car that is just in the bottom of your screen there.
Ducking down to the bottom.
Make a bid on Woodside there for 3rd.
And Woodside's all over Mike Duncan in the number 9. Large number 9 there on the side of that car.
Mike Duncan, former NASCAR Weekly Racing Series competitor at the Mesa Marin Raceway, 28-year-old from Lamont, California. His rookie season in Winston West competition in 2000, going to feel a little heat from the defending series champion here.
He's making the best of this opportunity, isn't he? He doesn't get to run many races. He's run some trucks and some Southwest Tour, a little bit of everything this year has Woodside, and he's trying to take that car to the front tonight after starting in the back.
26th position and last is where Woodside started. 5 laps from halfway. You look at the field summary and see that Bobby Donner is back in 9th position now after the pit stop under the caution flag. Trying to pick his way back up through some of the traffic. There's Joe Bean. He is spun off of turn number 4.
He gets her going. I don't believe we're going to have a caution, Alan. He gets the thing back on the road. Green flag stays out. Darn, Greg Voigt says.
He is going to lose a lap, though, will Joe Bean, as the field quickly goes by him.
I think Woodside might be the first guy that...
Here's a look at it from inside Joe Bean's car, the Food for Less machine. Detective Mike says...
I don't believe there was any contact. I think the Food for Less car just got away from Joe Bean.
Slipped on a banana peel.
And he rolls down to the bottom of the track, got the thing in gear, and drops the clutch and gets it to start up. And you can see that green light straight ahead. That means no caution.
And so Joe Bean goes down a lap, the San Diego, California driver who came into this event running 8th in the NASCAR Winston West Championship standings.
And Greg Voigt says, why did they not throw the caution? I needed that. Sean Woodside might be the first guy to make a pass as we go 3 wide while he's trying, but he's trying to make a pass around the outside of a fast car. We've seen guys dive to the bottom and make the pass, and we've seen guys run around the top and hold their own. But he's trying to get aggressive with Mike Duncan and drive around the outside of him while the guys behind him there. Sedgwick.
That's Gene Woods in the 09. He's not on the lead lap, by the way, so he's not in this mix for position here.
But he's got getting on TV figured out.
He has.
He's been all over this coverage tonight.
Third or fourth time. This is for second, third, and fourth. Duncan in the 9. Sean Woodside in the 45. Bill Sedgwick in the 44. That distance behind Steve Portingay, who is the race leader.
And don't forget about our point leader, Brendan Gaughan. We're just past halfway, and Brendan has driven to the top 6 here.
As you look at this race for second position, let's take a look at our halfway recap brought to you by Remax. A little look at what's happened in the first 125 laps so far. Bobby Donner started on pole with John Borneman outside of him, but it was Borneman getting the jump at the green flag. He led the first 36 laps of the event. The 22-year-old out there in his number 8 car, pacing the early going. Then it was Austin Cameron moving up at lap 37 to take the lead away from Borneman with an inside move. And Cameron went to the point. He held the top spot until lap number 64. And it was Bobby Donner, who after taking it easy and kind of conserving tires in the opening laps, used his teammate Gene Christensen to put the pick on Cameron. Donner went back out in front at lap 65, then Donner pitted at lap number 113, and that gave the lead over to Steve Portingay in the 3. Portingay is out in front. That's our Remax mid-race recap as we're just past halfway in tonight's NASCAR Winston West Series event. 4 lead changes among 4 drivers so far. We've had 5 caution flags. There are 14 of the 26 starters still on the lead lap. Now let's check on pit road with Kenny.
I'm with Ron Harris, the crew chief for the number 3 car. And Steve Portingay is doing a heck of a job out there, huh?
Yeah, he is. He's got a good car under him. Looks like he's keeping it down, just going easy on his tires, running the car at a good pace. We got a great crew here. We put a good car under him. He's driving a real smooth race, trying to conserve the hardware.
Steve Portingay started in 12th position, just kind of picked his way up through the traffic in the early going, and now just past midway, he's out in front.
Sitting there comfortably leading the race. Greg Voigt, though, has been able to maintain that position on the lead lap. So he's just looking for that caution, Alan.
Hoping he can find one sometime soon before Portingay gets up and puts himself back around and puts him down one more lap. Portingay, the leader, just past the midway point of the Home Depot 250 at Irwindale on Speed Vision.
Jumping out of planes and
Golf's oldest championship will return to the game's birthplace in honor of the millennium. The 2000 British Open from St. Andrews, Scotland. Experience it on the Golf Channel beginning July 17th with a full week of special programming, including nightly news and highlights, in-depth analysis, and your opinions. British Open Week begins July 17th on the Golf Channel.
I was watching TV with my son last night.
We saw this really great show.
It was funny.
Did you hear that, Dad?
Yeah, it did.
Inspiration can come from different places.
I'd say the sky's the limit.
Television is a medium for both entertainment and education. Make choices that are right for your family. To find out more about media awareness, contact Concerned Children's Advertisers.
Truck Series races, they'll understand what trading paint is.
We definitely do a lot of bumping and rubbing with 5 to go.
It is the very best racing car, side-by-side competitive racing I've been going.
Once the green flag drops, there's no friends on the racetrack.
I come in and race against these guys, and they kick me, they run over me, they tear the sides off my truck.
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. This is NASCAR.
Dad lost his hair early. When I started losing mine, I checked it out with a dermatologist, and he said Rogaine. It's 2 years later now, and I don't see any difference. Doc was right. You can keep the hair you have with Rogaine.
Uniroyal tires with nail guard seal most tread punctures instantly, permanently, and repeatedly. Nail guard tires, only from Uniroyal.
It's It's NASCAR racing on Speed Vision, the Winston West Series in the Home Depot 250 from Irwindale, California. You are looking at Bobby Dotter, one of the early leaders of the event, and Kevin Richards, one of the contenders for the series championship, trying to pick their way back up through the pack. And that is Jeff Jefferson right behind them in the 95, looking like he's showing a little bit of smoke. Dotter started on pole, fell back to the second and then third positions for a while, then moved up to lead lap 65 to 112 before making a caution flag pit stop for 4 tires there. And now he's trying to edge his way back up through into the top spot if he can.
Indeed, a little smoke out of Jeff Jefferson's car there. Doesn't look too severe at this point, but that usually doesn't fix itself.
No, it doesn't.
There's a Roto-Rooter car, Steve Portingay leading the race, still trying to put Greg Boyd a lap down, and Greg's having none of that.
By the way, got Dotter in 6th position at this point as he tries to pick his way back up toward the front.
And I got Roto-Rooter on the side of the 3 car. That's a cool sponsor, huh?
You like that, don't you?
I do.
Have you ever used them before?
No, but I know what they look like.
Yeah, there you go. Steve Portingay, a 29-year-old from Sparks, Nevada. A Southwest Series champion on 2 different occasions in NASCAR, 94 and 98. He is the defending winner of this race. In his 10th Winston West Series start here a year ago, he went to victory lane.
It doesn't look like that car's handling great, Alan. I know he's leading the race, but at this point, it kind of wants to wash up the banking a little bit more than he probably would like. You can see as they exit the corner there, the car gets a little high, and that enables Greg Boyd to pull off from him a little bit.
Greg Boyd's been able to stay out in front and on the tail end of the lead lap for quite some time now. There's Joe Bean. We saw him with the spin a little while ago, and that did not bring out a caution. He rode it out for a time on the racetrack, but now he's on the pit lane. The hood is up, and that's never a good sign. It doesn't look like they're in any particular hurry to fix whatever the issue might be.
A little bit of head scratching going on there, saying, what's wrong with this thing?
So Joe Beam in problems and on pit road as we continue to watch Steve Portingay lead this event. A little check back to see how close the second place car is. Just creeping into the right side of the picture from time to time. You will see Mike Duncan in the 9 car, and he runs in the number 2 position for the moment. Here's Dotter trying to move back up another spot. On the move underneath John Borneman, right down to the bottom side of the racetrack goes Dotter. This is for 6th position.
Cars are not. There we go. There goes the 18. I was going to say nobody could really get an advantage. They were running on opposite ends of the racetrack, but it took a little bit for Dotter to gain the spot there. But he got around Borneman and is continuing his march back to the front. We saw him there early, and he's been there a lot, and he's on his way back.
I think I said Dotter was in 5th a while ago. He was actually in 7th, and he moved his way up to 6th position with that pass there. Alan can't count on the scoring sheet sometimes.
A lot of pressure up here in this booth, especially that guy with that harmonica behind us and those hot dogs I keep looking down there and seeing on the grill.
We've been trying to run down the steps of the popcorn stand all night.
Come back from break one of these times. I'm not going to be here. I got to check that place out.
John Borneman running very well all night long. In the 8 car, he's a spot now behind Dotter and falling back a little bit. Remember, though, Dotter has fresher tires than these cars do. These cars that he's passing here because he stopped, about 30 laps later than they did on pit road for his fresh rubber.
He decided to make it to halfway before he made his pit stop and set himself up for a one-stop race.
There is Portingay finally closing back in on the Greg Boyd car, trying to put him a lap down. Boyd's been running on the tail end of the lead lap now for about the last 20-25 laps. Ooh, trouble.
Oh.
Jeff Jefferson, big problems underneath his car. Caution is out. Lost the engine, maybe?
I would say that's an engine problem, definitely. You can see the fires right from underneath the hood where the engine has lost its oil. Maybe broke a rod or threw something out the side of the block where that thing lost its oil and it caught on fire.
We did see him smoking a little earlier when he was running in that pack of traffic. I guess the engine's not lost because it's running.
That's another interesting situation we have there because the rear end's obviously not broken. It doesn't appear because the car is going. It's on fire, though.
You think somebody would have told him, Jeff, stop, please. But it doesn't look like he's leaking anything out the car, though. When he pulled off the grass there was no big streak out from behind the car. It's got to be getting warm in there.
This is when the expert commentators just have to say,
I don't get this one.
I don't understand. I've never seen anything quite like this. Jeff Jefferson has finally got a hot rear end.
Now he's figured it out. This is not good.
I don't know if it broke a gear or if it's just his rear end that's overheated, but something's going to cause him to get out of the car right now.
And he has parked it right across the pit exit as he bails out, so that's going to keep pit road closed here for a minute. You see Jefferson trying to get everything unhooked and bail out. The Washington State driver now sitting on the side of the car, probably trying to catch his breath from all the smoke he's no doubt been breathing in here for the last couple of minutes, as you see him getting attention there from some of the safety workers.
That was an interesting chain of events. The thing broke, it lost oil, obviously, spun to the bottom of the racetrack, but he started it up on fire and drove it all the way around to the back straightaway. So maybe we can get our pit reporter there to check that deal out and let us know what's going on.
So we're under caution as you look at Steve Portingay leading, and we'll wait to see once the pit road is open who's able to come down or who wants to come down and take some tires on at this next point in the race. And you look out over this Irwindale Speedway in Southern California. What a beautiful, beautiful racetrack. Let's take a commercial break while we're under the caution. Come back, check on pit stops. The cleanup continues from Jeff Jefferson's problem in turn number 2.
Can you recommend a good air filter? Fram, the only air filter with triad fiber technology. Tiny orange fibers that hold dirt inside their microscopic channels. Take it, use it, live it.
The Fram Triad traps up to 48% more dirt than any leading competitor.
Who is Speed Vision? It's guys who put it all on the line.
Guys like Andy Green who can't go fast enough, and Alan Shepard who did all of his best driving on the moon. Think of Don Aronow catching air. Kenny Roberts grinding the toe off his boot. And those guys with the right stuff? But you get the point. So turn on Speed Vision. Where men are men, and insurance agents are nervous.
Grand Prix of Monterey featuring the Shell 300, September 8th through 10th. Call 1-800-327-SECA or log on to laguna-seca.com or tickets.com.
This summer on OLN, the Surfers Journal rules the airwaves with raging tube action. Hit Hawaii's pipeline and relive 4 decades of this surf mecca's outrageous ups and downs. Plus, see what's up at some of the big breaks down under, from the killer curls at Bells Beach and Narrabeen to the ultimate riding at Kira. And Taylor Steele's rad videos bring the newest, hottest talent in the water into focus. Get on board with the Surfers Journal, only on OLN.
Back at Irwindale Speedway, the Home Depot 250 under the caution flag. They have moved Jeff Jefferson's disabled car from the pit exit, and now pit road is open. Here come most of the front runners in for stops. You see Portingay in. Also Mike Duncan is in. There's Sean Woodside, Bill Sedgwick. Brendan Gaughan is also on the pit lane. Kevin Richards is in as well. So pit stops here for most of the front runners as they get service, this time under the caution flag.
This is when we really get to see whose crew's what, Alan. This is the first time that a bunch of lead cars have come in at the same time. We're sitting in Brendan Gaughan's car here. We're looking at Steve Portingay. These guys, these crews are battling right now to see if they can get the tires changed and out before the rest of the cast.
Hesitation there on Portingay's part when the crew dropped the car before he took off, but it does not look like it's going to cost him any. There's Richards leaving his pit stall. After service, Sedgwick backing up to get out of his stall. Going to cost him a spot as Jason Small goes around, and a long, forever pit stop for Mike Duncan.
Oh, yeah, look at the frustration on the crewman there.
He was second when he came down the pit lane. He is not going to be when he comes back out. Wow. Long stop there. There's John Metcalf with a lead. No, excuse me, that's Scott Gaylord. He is not on the lead lap, so he's going to come in and get his service after all the leaders have gotten in and out.
We saw him clobber the wall earlier, so he's just trying to get in the pits and out without getting in anybody's way, and that's a good deal there.
Joe Bean also staying out of the lead lap car's way as he's supposed to, as he had a spin earlier off turn 4 and spent some time on the pit lane with the hood up on his car. So, John Borneman leads. John Metcalf is second. Remember, Greg Voigt got that lap back. He's all the way up to 3rd position, finally. And we go back green flag racing with a little less than 100 laps to go. Borneman and Metcalf and some of these other cars on the lead lap now on the older tires after most of the early leaders tires. So the leaders in that last segment anyway came in. There you see Portingay back in 4th position on the pressure tires and looking a little on the impatient side.
Well, this is a good time to make some moves, especially when you know you got heat like Bobby Dotter and those guys out there. You've got to get things done on these restarts because sometimes it opens up opportunities that you might not see later.
You know, we didn't mention it, but Dotter came in and pitted for tires under that caution flag. That wasn't all that long after his last stop, so he you know, the one-stop thing that we talked about, that was out the window.
That's why I didn't mention it, because I said he was going to do a one-stop race, and he wound up back in the pits again. I don't really understand it, but
must just not have liked that set of tires.
Maybe that's the case. He just didn't like the way the car felt on those tires. You can see Portingay working his way under John Metcalf there off turn 4.
This is for second spot. He's already gotten around Voigt, and here comes Portingay underneath Metcalf.
They're going to try to get around the outside of our man Gene Woods. I went to school with a guy named Gene Wells. I think that's where that came from.
There you go.
They're working their way around that. The cars at this point in the race have really fell into that high groove. You can see that that's where most of the action is going on. They're comfortable with the cars up the top of the racetrack, and you can see that's where most of them are heading.
So Portingay, after giving up the lead for a pit stop, restarting in 4th position, quickly works his way up to the number 2 spot. Now he's got to try and run down the leader, John Borneman, who is out in front by that much. About 50 yards or so. There's Sean Woodside and Brendan Gaughan. Trying to work their way up through.
Most all of the heavy hitters at this point in the race, Alan, have made their way to the top 6 or 7 race cars. And this is what you want when you got a little short track race like this. You want to see the best guys wind up in the front. And we're setting ourselves for an exciting finish with the guys that are still in the picture here.
Still got plenty of laps to go, though. Just a little less than 90 laps remaining in the race. As we look at the point leader, Brendan Gaughan, who is right now back in 7th position and trying to pick his way a little farther toward the front. There's Bobby Dotter, the pole sitter in the 18 car, working on John Metcalf for a spot.
And like you said, Alan, there's 90 laps to go thereabout. We could see these guys back on pit road again, so the complexion of this race could change again. I felt like that maybe Dotter was done pitting. Oh,
trouble.
Jason Small, hard.
Big shot into the outside wall. Caution is out. Last year's Rookie of the Year has taken a big shot into the outside wall in turn number 1. And Jason Small has brought out the caution flag and slowed the Home Depot 250 once again.
Running in the top 10 when that incident occurred.
There's a big lick he took over there.
See if we can get a look at that, see what happened. I didn't see anybody down there with him, Alan. It looked like he was by himself.
He was running in the 10th position at the time of the caution flag. And so at lap 165, it is Jason Small, whom the tow trucks will be headed out to retrieve. There you see Jason is out of the car down in turn 1. Is he looking to express anger with someone?
Yeah.
No, he's looking to catch his breath is what he's looking to do.
I was going to say we could find out if anyone hit him right quick if he fires that helmet at somebody. John Metcalf back to the pits. Remax crew.
Stayed on the racetrack last caution. Decided he needed some tires this one.
Going to be just a little bit fresher than the other guys, but we haven't seen a tremendous performance difference in the tires. You know, guys have not really made big moves on new tires. The older tires seem to be running well.
Now Kevin Richards was in on the last caution. He's back in again this time. There goes Greg Voigt out for a set of tires. Remember, he stayed on the racetrack, got himself back up in the lead group last time. So that's kind of curious on the part of Richards to come back in again just a short while later. He must have really not liked the way his car performed.
Whoa.
And it almost just got an adjustment there on pit road from the Gene Woods car.
Man, these guys are taking on tires. I can't figure out what's going on. We need Kenny over there to check them out. We'll go to break and let Kenny restart this deal a little bit.
You know, Robert Yates, Todd Parrott, the whole 88 team, they're not just people I work with. They're like family to me.
Families are real important in NASCAR. My father got me into it, and now it's my turn. Hey, can I borrow the keys to your car this weekend? No.
Families are great support, but I compete with my brother. So do the Burtons, the Wallaces, and we all want to win.
Hey, look, I love my brothers, but I'm not going to let them pass me on Sunday.
This is NASCAR.
Dad! No.
Every time you turn a page of Hot Rod, you'll feel the rumble of 400 horses at your feet. You'll smell the nitro burning. You'll see some of the sweetest rods ever and experience the power of the best articles ever written. Call this 800 number right now and we'll send you a free issue. free issue when you subscribe to 1 year of the hottest, most exciting hot rod magazine anywhere. You'll find everything there is to know about hot rodding. Call right now and order 1 year of Hot Rod and reserve your free issue. Then strap yourself in for the ride of your life. Hot Rod. Call now.
Monday nights, lock on to Speed Vision's NASCAR Inside Winston Cup Racing with all the action.
You get in that group, and it's just, you're camping all the time.
And insights.
Look for good things this year from the Chevy.
Monday nights at 7 Eastern, 8 Pacific, every week on Speed Vision.
Back at Irwindale Speedway in Southern California, Speed Vision's coverage of the NASCAR Winston West Series continues with the Home Depot 250, getting ready for a restart with 75 laps to go. And I don't know that we have 3 wide restarts in NASCAR. Is this something new we're not aware of?
Well, we've had them tonight, a couple of them. Usually the guy on the bottom is the one who receives the black flag. That's Eric Norris, but maybe he knows something we don't. Let's see how all this turns out.
John Boardman, the race leader on the outside, being overtaken by Sammy Potashnik in the 20. Potashnik trying to get one of his laps back. He is 3 laps down at this point in the race. He's trying to get one of those 3 back and see if he can catch a quick caution. Let's go back and talk about the tire thing for a minute. We saw Kevin Richards on pit road for service, and as well as John Metcalf under that last caution after being in for tires not all that long ago. Richards stopping again. Metcalf had been out for a little bit. What are we thinking about the Richards strategy there? He's fallen back to 11th and the last one on the lead lap.
Well, I guess there's just not that many cars on the lead lap. You could put tires on okay under caution. There's no problem with losing a lap, so maybe he just decided he didn't like the feel of those tires. He knew he wasn't going to give up much. See Boardman getting around Potashnik there and getting out front and assuming the lead of the race track position-wise. Portengate coming with him. I think it's just guys playing out different strategies, Alan, trying to figure out what they want to do to try to get in a position at the end of the race, not to have to come on pit road.
See the top 2 there. John Boardman in the 8, John Portengate in the 3. Here are Bobby Dotter and Sean Woodside in the 18 and the 45, running in 3rd and 4th, trying to squeeze their way through some of the lap traffic. Look out, that is Troy Klein. That is getting nudged aside by the 3rd place car. Well, he was 3rd. He might lose 4th and 5th here. Woodside goes by to 3rd. And there's Brendan Gaughan going to race Dotter now for 4th.
Man, what action are we having here? These guys are all over each other. I love it.
Now, the lap car's doing what he's supposed to.
Yeah, he was fine.
Bottom of the racetrack, trying to stay out of the way.
Bobby just wanted under him. You know, the guy didn't know where Bobby was going, and Bobby decided he wanted the very bottom of the racetrack, and you can see he's staying there. He's not moving up on the middle of the track, so Bobby must like the way that car's feeling right now.
Portengate closing in on John Boardman rapidly as a spin off of turn 2. That is Sammy Potashnik. We saw him trying to get a lap back from the leader a little while ago. His car really loose when Boardman repassed him. And now Potashnik really, really loose to the point that he spun around and comes to rest in the inside of turn 3.
Looks like he's having a little bit of trouble getting that thing refired. He's sitting at the end of pit road, so caution's on the field here.
And the leader slows down to take the yellow flag.
Nobody fighting to get a lap back, so it's kind of a calm caution there. Here goes Potashnik getting on his way.
Turn that thing around backwards and a bunch of gasoline come rushing up the fuel line into the carburetor, that kind of thing. It can get make the vehicle really hard to restart.
Definitely.
Austin Cameron ducking onto pit road really early here under this caution. Really early. I hope pit road was open when he came back in.
I bet it wasn't. Oh, look. There's smoke from out of the back of it, Alan.
That is not a good sign. So Austin Cameron, who led this race earlier between laps 37 and 64, he's got big problems.
Man, he's taking the hard left turn behind pit wall. The crew's looking, waving him down, wanting to check it out, but evidently he knows it's more serious than they can fix, so he's trying to find, I don't know where he's going.
5th car to go behind the wall, and this is lap 182 for Austin Cameron. He is pulling his car into where the crew can take a look at it and pull the hood up and so on, and it appears he would be done for the night. Let's go to Kenny Sargent down on pit road while we're under the yellow.
I'm with Jeff Schrader. No relation to Kenny Schrader, crew chief for the number 45 car. Sean Woodside is looking nice.
Well, he's doing good right now. We still got a ways to go here, and we got a couple cars to pick off. We had to start at the back today because he raced up at Sears Point, but Donald Walker and Team Walker Motorsports gave us a good race car and all the best equipment, and we got a good bunch of guys that worked their tails off on this car to get it ready in the last 2 weeks, and you know, we'll give it a shot, see if we can win. I mean, we got a good shot at it right now, but 50 to go. That's a long ways to go when you're trying to win.
What is your strategy here for the final, 70 laps or so?
Well, I think that we need to get past 200 and probably put 4 more tires on it. We probably should have an advantage because we didn't practice today at all. So Sean's driving a car that he never practiced today at all. So we got more tires than everybody else because we didn't wear nothing out in practice. So, yeah, I think we'll stop between 200 and 220 for 4 more tires and roll the dice and give it a shot for the win.
Thoughts of Sean Woodside's crew chief, the third-place car behind John Borneman, who leads the Home Depot 250 at Irwindale.
If you've ever missed... The Golf Channel and Max Live present the MVP Sweepstakes. Enter now for a chance to win a full week at the breathtaking Kiowa Island Golf Resort. A round of golf with John Elway and access to all tournament activities during the Max Fly Celebrity Challenge Golf Tournament. Plus, you could win golf bags, irons, and a lifetime supply of Max Fly Revolution golf balls. Enter now at thegolfchannel.com for your chance to be an MVP.
When it's time to sell your home, accessing the most effective home selling service in the information age is as easy as point and click. The Real Estate Teleguide is your best source for local real estate listings. We're there for home buyers 24 hours a day, big as life and as close as the remote control. Drop by, make yourself at home. Ask your real estate professional about showing your home on television. The Real Estate Teleguide. Check your local listings.
A down-and-out driver hits the road looking for the big time, but ends up doing hard time. Shut up and move! Robert Blake goes postal in Corky tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern.
Back at Irwindale under the caution in the Home Depot 250, Austin Cameron dropping out of the race while we're under this yellow. Kenny is with him now.
Thanks, guys. I'm with Austin Cameron. You qualify number 3, looking nice. You're sitting at number 2, then boom, what happened?
Yeah, I think we either sucked a valve or, broke a valve spring, and, we were running second and we had first anytime we wanted it. We were just trying to, bide our time, make it to lap 120, 130, and then, throw 4 tires on, and we were going to go the whole distance. We had an unbelievable car tonight, and at any time we wanted, we could have gone in the front, and we led some laps, saw what I could do, and then just backed her off and thought we had, everything wired, but... It's too good to be true, so dropped the valve, and then about lap 180 or something like that, it dropped 1 or 2 more.
Not a good thing there for Austin Cameron. He led laps 37 to 64. He is going to finish somewhere in the bottom 4 or 5 in this field tonight. Get ready to go back racing. John Borneman in the 8 is the leader. Steve Portingay with fresher tires on in the 3 runs second. Bobby Dotter is third. Sean Woodside fourth. Brendan gone fifth. It's Troy Klein in the 11. One of the lap cars to the inside, trying to get another one of his laps back from the leader.
We're beginning to hear some of the strategies that these teams are planning on playing out with, Alan. Guys that are thinking about pitting as late as 220 or so, lap 220 or 215 to get 4 tires in order to make it to the finish. It'll be interesting to see if that's what all of them decide to do. I've got a sneaky suspicion Bobby Dotter's not going to do that. He was so good on that long run early, maybe he just decides to stay out on tires.
This is for the race lead. Steve Portingay working the low groove on John Borneman, trying to get back out in front, hoping the lap car doesn't get in his way.
Troy Klein's on his own agenda, though. He doesn't care what those cats are doing. He wants to get that lap back, and he's staying right out in front of the leaders right now. Borneman dives right back to the bottom of the racetrack to try to make the move on Portingay. Can he do it?
Portingay out in front. Here comes Borneman looking to his inside. The lap car gives him room, but Portingay has fresher tires than Borneman does. It pays off there. Steve Portingay is back out in front. Inside of 60 laps to go, 58 to go to be specific right here, and Portingay reclaims the lead over the youngster John Borneman.
That's bad news for Klein there. He's on the bottom of the racetrack, and he's running good. But now that those guys have got that battle over first decided, I think they're going to suck him right up.
See Klein there trying to stay out of the way, but keep the leader behind him. Here comes Borneman. He's not going to make it 3 wide, is he?
Well, I wouldn't bet on it.
Sure he is. Here they go. 3 wide off turn 4. This is great.
Look at that speed shot, Alan. Those cars working down that front straightaway. You think about a half-mile track and say, how fast can they get going? Well, they qualified at over 98-mile-an-hour average. And that means probably speeds upwards 120 or 30 on these straightaways. So we're seeing a lot of fast cars here tonight, battling inches apart and 3 and 4 wide sometimes.
John Borneman working those tires on his car very hard on that flatter part of the banking, trying to get the lead back away from Steve Portingay.
What a great battle for the lead here in the late going.
Still a long way to go in this race, though. They're working those tires really hard for such a long time to go. Here goes Borneman back out in front.
Let me tell you the key to that. 22 years old. He wants to lead this race. He doesn't care how many laps are left in this race. He's young. He's enthusiastic. He's only running a limited schedule. This is supposed to be his last race of the year. But I kind of got a feeling that the way this kid's performing, the way that car's running, they'll scrape up some sponsorship from somewhere and go run some more. I hope so. He's fun to watch.
Scraping up some paint there as he and Portingay got together off of turn 4. Portingay's experience here telling him to run the higher lane and not press the issue so hard. We've got a little over 50 laps to go, and there's 54 to go right now.
And you can see another guy joining the party. Bobby Dotter's coming in to make a three-way battle of the lead. Let me tell you where we're at right here, Alan. I believe these guys are comfortable with where they are on their tires. They've had some pit stops. They've gotten tires off. They hadn't had any trouble. They hadn't seen any blistering at this point, maybe. And they're saying, okay, boys, we're going to turn this thing loose and see what we got. I think that's more of what you're seeing here on the racetrack is guys that have said, the tire issue is behind us. Let's go battle. Because guys want to do this. This is what you want to do. You want to race. And if the tires aren't a problem, then that's what you're going to do.
Dotter has been hooked up around the bottom side of the racetrack better than anyone all night long. He's been able to put his left sides right on that line, separating the apron of the racetrack from the banking. Few others have been able to do that for most of the night tonight, and it's really worked successfully for Dotter as you see this three-way race for the lead as we come up on 50 laps to go. Borneman in the 8, Portingay in the 3, Dotter in the 18.
This takes a tremendous amount of patience to do what Bobby Dotter's doing. I wish you knew how difficult this was. Those other guys, when he gets to the end of the straightaway, they fly down in the corner. They out deep him. He has to let off very early to run around the bottom. And he's got to be patient to do it. And he's proven right here that he is up to the task. Look at him.
This is fabulous. 3 wide for the race lead. Turn number 3. Who's going to come out of it with the lead? How about Bobby Dotter? Wow. Fantastic move.
Oh, what great racing.
Bobby Dotter back out in front. 48 laps to go.
All right, is that the last they see of him? He's been awful good when he's gotten to the front.
Tell you what.
He's made a statement here by getting under both of them on the same lap down on the bottom of the racetrack. Now that he's got the track to himself, we'll see if he decides to stay down at the bottom. Look at there. He's letting that thing breathe a little bit, riding up to the top of the track and easing off on those front tires a little bit.
The other thing that he's doing, though, we just talked about a second ago. His car was better on the bottom than anybody else's, but if he goes and runs the bottom, he's giving Portingay and Borneman, as second spot changes hands, the line that their car runs better in. So if he runs high and takes that line away, he pretty much is confident they can't run as low like he could earlier.
Well, he's forgot about those two, Alan. I believe that. I think he's just taking care of his race car, running the lane he wants. He's pulling away. We'll go to break, and we'll see if he's able to extend that lead while we're gone.
Weeds, brush, brambles, they're turning parts of your land into an overgrown jungle. But now there is a solution. The amazing new DR Field and Brush Mower can help you reclaim overgrown parts of your property and keep your place looking great with less work than you ever dreamed possible. Now, you could try to mow this overgrown roadside ditch with a handheld brush cutter. Or you might try to use a sickle bar style mower. But these machines vibrate so much they're exhausting to use. In contrast, the DR Field and Brush Mower is the picture of smoothness. The DR knocks over brush and saplings up to 1 inch thick and chops everything into small pieces so there's no tangle of vegetation to trip over. And when you're done mowing, there's nothing left to rake, pick up, burn, or dispose of. The DR's secret is that it works much like a big tractor-mounted brush mower, but in a walk-behind version that's scaled and priced just right for homeowners. Plus, the DR can mow on slopes where you'd never take a tractor, and it can mow in soft, wet areas where a tractor would sink up to its axles. With its lighter weight and wide tires, the DR mows wet fields, along streams, and around ponds with ease. 4 speeds and 8 to 15 horsepower let you mow wide open spaces at nearly 1 acre an hour. Or you can take your time in woodlots. thinning out the underbrush around trees you want to keep. There's even a reverse gear for maneuvering in tight places. So if parts of your property are getting so overgrown that no ordinary mower can keep them under control, call now for complete details on the amazing new DR Field and Brush Mower. For your free color catalog all about the DR All-Terrain Field and Brush Mower, call toll-free 1-800-816-7676. Direct from factory off-season savings are now in effect. So call now 1-800-816-7676 for your free DR catalog.
Looking at the race for second in the Home Depot 250 for the NASCAR Winston West Series on Speed Vision from Irwindale Speedway in Southern California. And now dropping a little farther back. Here's a good race for fourth and fifth positions as Brendan Gaughan and Kevin Richards go at it, trying to move their way back up through traffic. Make that for fifth and sixth as Gaughan gets overtaken and a little physical there by Richards.
They're not battling like
the standings. Oh, trouble. Borneman into the outside wall. Third place runner, John Borneman, finds trouble in the late going right front.
Doesn't look again as if he's suffered severe damage to that car. We'll see if he's able to get the tire changed and get back on the track. But a right front tire went away from him. I'm not understanding this tire deal too well. That hadn't been that long since he was on pit road.
Maybe ran over something.
He could have very well. I'm thinking that might have been the story on his car. It's been so good on the tires all night long. You can see the tire still turns. It's flat, but it's still rolling a little bit. So maybe the damage isn't quite as extensive. It looks like there is a toe-in issue, or actually a toe-out issue at this point. We'll see what they do to the number 8 car as he gets it on pit road. Hopefully it hadn't been too bad.
Might have knocked one of the control arms off, steering box, something. But he had one tire pointing north and one tire pointing south. Here's another look, looking ahead from Kevin Richards' car. There it is.
The darn thing had a flat. That's obvious. You can see, though, he's got a brake. It went flat on the straightaway. He bottomed out getting in some. He had a little bit of warning. He just couldn't hold it down well enough to keep it off the wall. You can see the 45 car there. Woodside's coming to pit road to get tires.
Number of the front runners in for service here. Watching Woodside get his service. Right side's on. Is he going to get 4?
Yes, he is.
We heard this from some of the crew chiefs earlier that they were going to come in for a set of tires around lap 220. We're just about at that point in the race. So a set of fresh Hoosiers going on this car.
There's Portengay getting him a set of Hoosiers as well. The major movers from Janiking, Sean Woodside, has made his way from last up to the 3rd position here late in the going, along with Steve Portengay and Brendan Gaughan, all guys moving up through the field.
We'll come right back in a minute.
The Golf Channel and Max Live present the MVP Sweepstakes. Enter now for a chance to win a full week at the breathtaking Kiowa Island Golf Resort. A round of golf with John Elway and access to all tournament activities during the Max Fly Celebrity Challenge Golf Tournament. Plus, you could win golf bags, irons, and a lifetime supply of Max Fly Revolution golf balls. Enter now at thegolfchannel.com for your chance to be an MVP.
It's about the trendsetters, the traditionalists, the innovators, the icons.
I'm Michelle Wright. Come along with me on a tour of CMT's Hall of Fame.
Visit the CMT Male Artist Hall of Fame, opening July 22nd, only on CMT.
It's about energy, fun, freedom, escape, independence, kicks. CMT, it's about you.
Speed Vision News Race Week. An in-depth coverage by those experts who live it. Get the inside line on Speed Vision News Race Week every week. Tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific.
You know, NASCAR's been a part of my family for almost 30 years. First of all, I got in this business because I'm a race fan. I went to races as a little kid. I'm going to miss the people. I'm going to miss hanging out in the garage with the guys, the camaraderie, that bumping and grinding that we do on Sunday. The fans, the drivers, the crews, it's just a way of life. For 40 years, I've gotten up on Sunday, put my helmet on, and raced. I'm really going to miss it.
It is the Home Depot 250 for the NASCAR Winston West Series, down to its final 27 laps. The top 4, Bobby Donner, Brendan Gaughan, Kevin Richards, and John Metcalf, stayed on the racetrack. under this caution, while the others on the lead lap came down pit road for fresh tires. They restart from 5th and 6th positions on back. Let's see what Donner can do here as we come back up to speed. Green flag is in the air.
Held him down on that start, didn't he? And look there, it backfired with him a little bit. Brendan Gaughan has looked to the outside. We have not seen a guy complete a pass around a faster car on the outside all night long.
Brendan Gaughan is going to try it here, though. They dispense with lap traffic. Scott Gaylord's out of the way, and Donner's right back to that low lane that he's been able to run better than anyone else has all night.
I don't believe it's going to happen here either, Alan. That car is just working well down on the bottom of the racetrack. Look at him.
Brendan Gaughan with a big push there going into turn 1, but he kept it wound up around the top of the racetrack.
He's got old Mo on his side when they get ready to come up off the turn. If Bobby Donner ever gets enough of a lead to cut him off right there, it's over.
Change lanes. You go high, I'll go low.
That car is just impressive. He started on the pole, and he's led early, and as you would say, he's led often.
As I would say?
I've heard you say that.
Why didn't I say that? You said it. Bobby Donner able to withhold the challenge from Brendan Gaughan on the restart. Now put himself out to a comfortable 3 or 4 car length lead at this point. There's Kevin Richards up into 3rd spot now as we get down to the final laps. The point leader and the 2nd place man in the NASCAR Winston West Championship coming into the race running 2nd and 3rd as we enter the final 20 laps of the race.
Just like a short track race on so many occasions. You saw the point leader start 16th in the field. Didn't hear a whole lot out of him, but the reason why he is the point leader now late in the going, and he's battling for the lead, running 2nd. So this team, the experience it has, and the job that Brendan Gaughan has done all year long in this race car has been really impressive.
You know, he won the race we showed you on Speed Vision earlier this year from Mesa Marin Raceway in Bakersfield by just conserving tires for a lot of the event, even though he started on the pole for that race. Wound up with the best car when it counted most in the final laps. He's going to need a little help if he's going to catch Bobby Donner at this point. Here's a good race for position. Steve Portingay there with Sean Woodside trying to get by Mike Duncan behind him. They've got the lap car of Troy Klein in the mix as well.
These guys are fiercely battling because it's getting late, Alan, and they know that the guy that's been the strongest all day long, Bobby Donner, has gotten the lead, and he's made a break on him. And it's time to make sure you don't leave nothing on the table. Now, you got to get those cars out in some clean air and get them to the front, or this thing's fixing to be over.
Here's that race for position between Woodside in the 45 and Duncan in the 9. Portingay in the 3 as well.
You can see a little damage on the left rear of Portingay's car there. That looks like that might have been done on pit road.
And we shift back up front as the leader, Bobby Donner, has pulled away to an even bigger advantage now and continues to pad his margin as we enter these final laps of the event. That's got to be a very comforting sight for Donner to see that he's opening up a bigger advantage on the 2nd place car. This should be for the 5th and 4th positions with Portingay running in 5th and John Metcalf just in front of him in the 05 car, the red and white machine, in 4th. You see Metcalf, Portingay, a little puff of smoke from Portingay's car when he jumped back in the gas there. Then Duncan, and then Woodside. And here we go with the outside move for the number 4 spot as we transition up towards 2nd. Here's Kevin Richards putting a move on his championship rival, Brendan Gaughan.
Dives that car right down to the bottom of the racetrack. This is going to be a good battle. These two cars are evenly matched. You can see right there Brendan Gaughan holding him off on the outside. It'll be a difficult pass for Richards to complete, but he certainly had the thing all the way up beside Gaughan there off 2.
Pretty good wiggle when he got back in the gas trying to make it hold the bottom side of that racetrack. Remember the 6, 9, 12 degree graduated banking here at Irwindale, and Richards trying to get a hold of 3 degrees less bank to lean on, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, and he didn't have the room to swing off the corner like Gaughan did either, so he had the car bound up with the less banking, and the thing just about got away from him.
And if you're Brendan Gaughan at this point, you're looking out the windshield and you're saying, okay, Bobby Donner's gone. Here's my championship rival. I'll just try and protect these 5 points if I can. Thank you very much.
Well, you don't want to give up, but you certainly have to be smart if you want to win a championship.
Looking at the running order rather, in the Home Depot 250. We're back for the finish in a moment.
See the USA in your Chevrolet. America's the greatest land of all.
The new Chevy Impala has the highest front crash rating possible from the federal government, 5 stars. So adjust the seats, get comfortable, and let your cares fade away. Let's go for a drive. Impala, we'll be there.
time you turn a page of Hot Rod. You'll feel the rumble of 400 horses at your feet. You'll smell the nitro burning. You'll see some of the sweetest rides ever and experience the power of the best articles ever written. Call this 800 number right now and we'll send you a free issue. A free issue when you subscribe to 1 year of the hottest, most exciting hot rod magazine anywhere. You'll find everything there is to know about hot rodding. Call right now and order 1 year of Hot Rod and reserve your free issue. Then strap yourself in for the ride of your life. Hot Rod. Call now.
Monday nights, lock on to Speed Vision's NASCAR Inside Winston Cup Racing with all the action.
You get in that group, and it's just, you're tense all the time.
And insights.
Look for good things this year from the Chevy.
Monday nights at 7 Eastern, 8 Pacific, every week on Speed Vision.
Getting down to the finish of the Home Depot 250 for the NASCAR Winston West Series at Irwindale Speedway in California. You're looking at the race leader, Bobby Dotter, with 10 laps to go. He's opened up a huge advantage on the second-place car of Brendan Gaughan, looking for what would be his second straight win in the NASCAR Winston West Series. Unlike win number 1, which came last race on the road course at Laguna Seca when John Borneman led up until getting a flat tire on the last lap, Dotter has truly had one of the strongest cars throughout the night in this one. Looking back at a good race for position here between Greg Voigt in the 13 car and Bill Sedgwick in the 44. This is for 5th and 6th spot.
That car's been on the move since he made that lap up. We knew he would be. We could see all night long that he had a real strong car. We've seen all this 4 wide, 3 wide, lower groove, high groove racing, but this is what you want to see if you're the guy leading the race. He's broken away late in the going here and has a tremendous lead after all the competitiveness we saw earlier. You can see he's driving that car hard. Look at the right front or left front brakes there, Alan. It's going inside that wheel. So it's still using that car up as good as he can, but also on a probably a conservative mode now that it's this late in the race with that big of a lead.
Bobby Dotter, a 39-year-old second-generation driver, originally from the Chicago area. His dad, Bob Dotter, a star for many years on the ARCA circuit. And we look in on the race for second that continues to be a hot one between the two principals to this point of the season in the fight for the NASCAR Winston West Championship. Brendan Gaughan in the 16, Kevin Richards in the 85, and Sean Woodside finds trouble in the late going. Looks like he looped it around. He's trying to go backwards down the inside of the racetrack in the backstretch and find the room to get it turned around. We stay under the green flag, and so this race for second can continue as the laps wind down.
And there's Mike Duncan who's slipping in on those guys too. These guys have been battling for that position, and it's allowed Mike to close in on them. So Richards has been underneath Gaughan, but he just can't complete the pass, and it's allowed those two guys racing side by side has allowed Duncan to close right in.
So they'll just about duel to a draw tonight as far as the gap between these two atop the Winston West Championship standings after race number 6 of the 2000 season. If they finish the way they are, unless one of them falls out for some reason in these final laps, only going to be one position between them at the end of the night as far as the rundown is concerned. And for Bobby Dotter, just trying to keep it between the walls now, keep it away from the lap cars and get it to the finish. He's down to the final few laps of this event as he tries to run out the final circuits.
You know, someone talked earlier about the brake heat blowing out a tire. It amazes you that it doesn't happen more, doesn't it? Did you see that rotor just glowing hot, and those tires stand up to it. They're under the white flag here as Bobby Dotter goes down the back straightaway for the last time here in Irwindale.
He started on pole, led lap 65 to 112, then took the lead with a 3-wide move at lap 202. Now he sees the checkered flag. Second straight win for Bobby Dotter. He takes the Home Depot 250 NASCAR Winston West Series race in Irwindale. Congratulations to Bobby and his team. Terrific performance tonight by Dotter. What a breathtaking move he made. 3 wide underneath 2 other cars. Third to first in 1 set of corners. And Bobby Dotter scores the victory tonight.
Very impressive performance. To set on the pole and to have the car where it would balance itself out and run the long haul as well. He did a great job tonight with that car. People against drugs on the hood. I think that's a sentiment from up here as well. You know, you just like to see good, wholesome, clean racing, and Bobby Dotter did that job tonight for sure.
And he's going to go take a victory lap. Donner will, and come back around into the winner's circle, where we will talk with him in just a moment. Congratulations to Bobby. Second straight win in the NASCAR Winston West Series, and this is going to do wonders for him in the championship standings. It's going to move him up a good bit closer to Brendan Gaughan, the point leader, as Donner searches for perhaps a championship in 2000. The race is over. We'll hear from the winner, Bobby Donner, when we come back on Speed Vision.
Well, in the truck series, you know, we're not afraid to beat and bang a little bit to get the spotter, to get the win.
Competition is so stiff. You got to rough somebody up to get to the front.
You know, when you're looking in the rearview mirror, they're your friend. If you're looking through the windshield, they're your enemies.
You have to use that chrome horn and lay the bumper to the guy in front of you.
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. This is NASCAR.
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series is as tough as it gets, bud.
In our family, men lose their hair early.
Thank you.
So I've been using Rogaine for about 2 years now, and I don't see any difference. And that's the idea. You keep the hair you have. Look, I love my dad. I'm just not in a rush to look like him. Rogaine, it's stronger than heredity.
Uniroyal tires with nail guard seal most tread punctures instantly, permanently, and repeatedly. Nail guard tires, only from Uniroyal.
It happens here and only here. You get every race, every moment live. Speed Vision, the Formula One season. Hakkinen defends. Schumacher hunts. And Jaguar just couldn't stay away. Speed Vision, the Formula One season. Veteran analysis and a heart that beats just slightly above normal. Tomorrow, accelerate as the big boys take on Remus Curve at the F1 Austrian Grand Prix. Live, only on Speed Vision.
Our Speed Vision coverage of the NASCAR Winston West Series brought to you by Food for Less Supermarkets, by Jenny King, also by Monaco Enterprises, by Napa celebrating their 75th anniversary, by the Orleans Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, by Remax, and by the Irwindale Speedway, LA's half-mile super speedway. Bobby Donner has pulled his car down into the victory lane area after scoring the win in tonight's Home Depot 250 for the NASCAR Winston West Series. Donner becoming the first multiple winner of the 2000 Winston West season. He gets his second victory in the season's first 6 races, and it moves him up to third in the championship standings, just 122 points behind leader Brendan Gaughan. There you see his crew, including Gene Christensen, his owner and fellow driver on the Winston West Tour, as Donner gets the salute from the crowd. And the bombs burst in midair as well. All part of the show here at Irwindale. Let's go to Kenny Sargent with Bobby Donner in victory lane.
Bobby, this East Coast boy, North Carolina boy, coming in here and taking this West Coast money.
Well, it's not that easy. I got a great team, and, you know, Gene Christensen, who's also racing out there against me, he's given me this opportunity to come back after a few years where I couldn't find a ride. So I just can't say enough for him and the people against drugs and my whole team. You know, they really gave me an awesome car tonight. We won the last race at the road course, but we got a gift there. The car got a flat tire leading ahead of me, and tonight we won the race.
I saw you in the pits, and just before you came out on the track, you guys were crunching numbers on a notebook pad about your tires. It paid off.
Yeah, we kept our stagger all night long, and that's the biggest thing with these bias ply tires is to be able to keep them consistent.
Congratulations to Bobby Donner and company, scoring the win on the Home Depot 250.
Yeah, this was truly a team victory. You know, the guys did a great job on pit road. We saw that when he made the stop. He came out in good shape, and also great strategy. Set on the pole. This was a great night for Bobby Donner.
Why don't we take a look at the final results from tonight's NASCAR Winston West Series action. Win number 2 for Bobby Donner. The point leaders, Brendan Gaughan and Kevin Richards, finishing 2nd and 4th. How about Rookie of the Year leader Mike Duncan getting by Richards for 3rd spot late? Great performance for him.
Certainly was, and Greg Voigt made that lap up and finished in the top 5, and then we saw Steve Portengay, his car began to smoke late in the race, and he dropped back to 8th.
Looking down at the second 10, Jeff Jefferson with the problem we saw midway through the race that saw his car catching on fire. And we still go farther back yet to where Austin Cameron wound up in 21st position after dropping out with an engine problem. He led earlier in the event. Let's hear from the second place finisher tonight, Brendan Gaughan. Back to Kenny down in the pit area.
You didn't win the race, but you did what you said you wanted to do, hang around and get in the top 3.
Well, you know, I mean, the Napa team, we're pretty good out here, you know. Bill keeps saying, I said I'm not a short track driver. He keeps telling me it's my alter ego, Western Willie, the short track guy, but we have a lot of fun out here, you know, the Napa Auto Parts team. Fred Graves, the whole guys, they're the ones that did this for me. We had great 4-tire stops. You know, we came here with a special transmission with an overdrive. Nobody thinks about running overdrives on places like this, and Fred and the Martin Senor guys, our engine builder, everybody, we sat down and talked about it and said, well, let's give it a shot. And third gear is what gave us second. You know, we were able to put it down in the third and run it and not have to worry about it. So got to get my hat off to the whole team of the Napa guys and the whole guys. That it's to them. I do the turn left part. They're the ones that win these things.
Take a look at the championship standings now at the halfway point of the NASCAR Winston West season.
With the type of competition you saw here tonight, that's why you have such a great point battle. 82 points between the first two, and then Dodder's still just 100 and some back. This competition in the Winston West Series is impressive.
Sean Woodside with a late spin. Let's find out what happened to him. Back to Kenny.
Sean, all things considered, you raced earlier today, had no practice on this car. You had no idea how it was going to run. Yeah, it looked like you were going to run up into the top 3, but boom. You tried to be the showman, didn't you?
Yeah, I tried to, what do they say, try to be a hero, come out of 0. But, you know, like I said, we weren't running for points, and we didn't come to lose. The guys worked hard all day and made it so I could just fly in and drive the car. And, you know, we adjusted on it a little bit and freed it up, and just got caught a little bit in lap traffic and lost a little bit of track and trying to make it up, but it's made a mistake and spun the car out. But if you're not trying, you're not on the edge. So that's what we're all here to do, is win.
Sean Woodside wound up finishing in 10th position. Well, there's Bobby Donner's car being pushed away to post-race tech. Mike, pretty exciting show, I thought.
Oh, man, under the lights here at Irwindale, just a great place to come to race, and I'm glad we were here tonight to watch this action, Alan.
Next race on Speed Vision, July 29th, the Napa Auto Parts 200 from Portland Speedway in Oregon. Look forward to bringing that one to you, and hope that you'll be with us as we continue our coverage of the NASCAR Winston West Series here in 2000.
What a happy bunch of guys there, huh?
Crowd filing out after having seen a great race. For Michael Waltrip and Kenny Sargent, I'm Alan Bestwick. Congratulations to Bobby Donner, winner of the Home Depot 250 at Irwindale.